Well, hello, folks. Welcome to Sunday and a very special stream here on the Citadel server. My name is Joel Duggan, and back in December, here on Twitch, we hit a crazy cool sub goal of having 200 subs during the month of December. And the reward for that, which is something we talked about back in December, was a tour of my builds here on the Citadel server, which is a 4-year-old survival Minecraft server. And I'm not going to be doing this alone. Joining me is servermate AlastairMcFly, who has his own Twitch channel as well, which you should go follow right now, as well as podcasts. And he's a frequent guest on the Citadel Cafe with me. Hello, Alastair.
Hello, hello.
Where are you?
Hey, everyone.
I hear you, but I don't see you.
Oh, sorry. Let me just...
Oh, there he is.
Here. Yeah.
Coming up from below my cabinet.
Yeah. It's old homely vibes, you know?
Right. Reminds me of your first day on the server.
It does.
Oh my god.
So for those who don't know, like when I first joined, Joel had spent maybe a day, maybe 2 days.
Yeah, not even. Just yeah. Like a quick admin pass on deciding where to build, making sure spawn was a place that I could remember, and that was it.
Yeah. And he brought me in and showed me sort of how to chop down a tree, which I did so using a cow. I killed a cow and I got the beef and I broke the tree with the beef, which was hilarious to me on that first day. It's like, I can do this? I can chop a tree down with a cow? That's brilliant. And then Joel showed me this cabin that he built, and he's like, and you can go anywhere you want. So me being the kind of person that I am, decided to build directly underneath in the basement. And
by directly underneath, I mean like there was a block between us. He decided to live in the basement, which as an exercise in accepting what others have done and rolling with it, I said, okay, fine. And then continued to spread things out, realizing that I could not dig down because Alastair had taken what most people do in Minecraft, which is dig down to have a basement and a place to store stuff and maybe get some iron and coal and things like that.
That was interesting though, because I spent most of my time underground. And you were out here. It kind of forced you to do more here in the meadows.
That's really fair. Yeah, actually, it because I mean, a lot of what I did, and we're going to get to the builds. So don't worry, folks. We're just kind of waiting for people to pile in. But yeah, like essentially, Dartmouth Meadows, which I can actually show on the map here. This is like we'll call it Spawn Town for the lack of a better way to describe it, which has expanded far south. But this is where it all started, and because Alastair was underneath me, and because this was my first time really playing on a server that I wanted to last a long time, I thought, well, if I'm going to attract friends that don't have a lot of time or maybe are new to Minecraft, I should start setting up things to make it easier for people. So rather than doing my own mine and my own farms and my own stuff, I just started focusing on the entire valley and started doing things like having a safe entrance and making sure that people can get back to spawn and making a mine and doing farms and stuff that you can see on the mountain in the background. So, and we'll take a look at all that kind of stuff in just a minute. But over the 4 years, we've had about 6 or 8 people at any given time as members. Right now, I'd say there's about 4 really active players, maybe 5.
Yeah.
But I think at its height, there was maybe about 6. So even though there's a fair amount of people, it's an older server, there's not a ton built because it's not a server of 20 people that are playing every day all the time, right? Like it's weekend warriors.
Yep.
So I think the easiest place to start would be, I guess, the cabin, because I mean that's where I started, and obviously the dragon head was not there when I started the server, but that's where I decided to put the first kill from the dragon, was to stick that on the front of my cabin. And this is really basic. Like, it's just a log cabin. It's really tiny inside. It's about 5 by 3, and once you get everything in here, you've got like 1 block of space. And I mean, I was happy with it, but like, I feel claustrophobic in here now. Like, it's just, I don't even like being in here. It's really bizarre.
I remember just being impressed at how much you actually squeezed into this space. I didn't even know it was possible to fit as much in as you had done.
Yeah, I remember being dizzy. You get dizzy checking chests and stuff like that. Like, if you look and go up here and look at the different things, like you're just constantly spinning and looking at stuff. And then, of course, there's the trap door that leads down to... this has changed since Alastair first built it, I think.
Yes, I moved out. So
yeah.
there was a lot of stuff here.
Like your typical chests and...
This way. Oh.
What did you do?
No.
By the way, Alastair and I are admins on the server, so we're both in creative mode right now, just so that we don't have to chase zombies and deal with all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so there was all this, and then there was a beware of the landlord sign right there, which I changed. And then we kind of went down here, and this is where I really lived.
Right, that's right.
I had like my furnace was just right here, and then I had a whole section down this way. That's why there's kind of cobblestone steps leading down, and I had my Stargate down there. The Stargate's still there, by the way.
Right.
The very first one.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And so, like, because of all this underneath me, I had nowhere to go but out. We've since connected everything. Like, there's tunnels connecting your new builds and stuff to the old passageways. But everything up top is basically like it was a result of that of your basement build pushing me out here.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that had it not been for, like, had I known more about how you play Minecraft, I never would have done that.
Well, no, but I mean, that's fine. And I didn't tell you, like, it is part of it. Part of the fun, I think, from the Citadel was inviting some friends, some of whom had played Minecraft before and some of whom had not. And then seeing what happens, right? Because you've got people that are not artists, are not builders, are just, like video games, but maybe are not, super familiar with the game. But yeah, it was pretty fun. Now, and this is actually a really cool valley. And the reason why we set up here is because there's a taiga forest just over here. So there's access to spruce. There's these mountains on either side. So there's good mining, really picturesque, kind of like nice area to build in, nice flat kind of plains biome that we've obviously landscaped, but it was a lot flatter when we first moved in. And there's a dark oak forest in the south that you can't see from here. But we had access to all kinds of stuff. And I think the first two things I built, the first thing I built was the mine. So we should go take a look at the community mine. And all of these things were things that I just decided to build just for other people. But I didn't want to just build them as like holes in the wall. Like I wanted to make them look good. So I remember there's a YouTube video out there somewhere, I'm sure, of me decorating these stairs and trying to make it look good, with torches and leaves, right?
Was it this before the sugarcane farm? Or
yeah,
the sugarcane.
No, I would have done this before the sugarcane farm. I would have needed to.
Oh,
this might not have been decorated, but it definitely existed because I would have needed all the ores and stuff. And I've got plans to expand this too because now we can dig down to deep slate level, which would be cool. Because we don't know what's below this.
Cosmic to help mine all the deep slate. She loves that.
She loves that, does she?
That's the word on the street.
So I don't think it would be best to go in like the order in which things were built because I think that would be a little bit too time intensive because we'd be walking all over the place. But yes. Since we're down here, we can check out a bunch of things, including like the triple spider spawner and some of the other cool things. But I wanted to make this look at least decent, so we decorated a little bit with concrete. We've got very clear markers as to where the branch mines are. And then we've got an even clearer marker as to where the triple spider spawner is. Now, we lucked out needing XP early game. I found the spider spawners and realized that all three of them were together in a loadable space. So we won't turn it on, but we can at least take a look at it.
One of the things that I loved about it was that I was dying to spiders a lot for some reason. And so it was really cathartic to just have a way of getting revenge on a daily basis.
Smack spiders in the face.
Oh, it was so satisfying. Plus, you had a Bane of Arthropods sword in there as well.
Oh, yes,
which made things a lot easier.
The book is missing. I'm not sure what happened to the book. Someone might have taken it by accident. But essentially, we've got all the spiders come up in this little area here, and you can sit here and smack them in the face. The XP comes through the hole in the stair, and all the drops are collected and sent away. But you can see over here, we've got two of the spawners are at least visible. There's this one here that's currently lit up. There's the second one down there, and the third is over in this other area. So all of these kind of are lit strategically to keep them inactive until we need them to be. And that's what this button does, is that it turns on the farm, which we won't do because it'll be loud and terribly annoying.
And if I recall, this all had to change as well, because this isn't the original design. Because
No.
when the aquatic update came out, then all the water mechanics changed.
Yeah, it broke. We had to switch it to a bubble column, and I had to change a few things because I don't think they changed the hitboxes on spiders, but they changed the way that they floated. So it was not as easy to kill them. It became inefficient as a farm. I don't think we can see... Yeah, I don't have a window into the third spawner, but it's right behind this wall here. They're right next to each other. And then here is the chute that the spiders go up, and then this is the collection area for all the drops. And we don't collect them here. More conveniently, we send them with this auto dropper all the way down this water stream, and they go all the way back to the main area. And we can probably follow that. I would imagine would be the coolest thing to do. Oh, right, the top.
Right, this is all the...
Yeah, this is just the redstone for the top of the lamps over the spawners. That's all that is. But yeah, this way, down through the other exit is going to be the easiest way to go back, because we can follow the water stream. So all the drops get fired out into this water stream over here. So all the string and the spider eyes and everything go down here, and this takes everything all the way back to the top of the mine. So this ends up being a really convenient way for when someone on the server is using XP. Oh, that's a good call. Go a little bit faster. When someone on the server is using XP, they're also filling up community chests with string and spider eyes that we can then convert into wool. And there's so many drops that I had to design this item splitter. So this technically splits items into 2 different water streams and then sends them up with 4 different droppers, because otherwise they were just backing up and causing server lag. So we've got this that then fires everything from the spider farm up to the storage, and the storage is at the top of the stairs. So we'll go up and take a look at that. Cosmic thinks I'm in charge. Shutting doors and whatnot. I never thought I should have brought a bed. I guess I can just sleep. Not that it really matters. It's kind of cool to see the meadows at nighttime.
Well, you have a bed up here, don't you?
I don't know if there's a bed in here. I don't think so. This has been turned into a storage room. So the string,
right, yes.
The string comes up here, and we'll see the rest of the storage later. But the string comes up here. As you can see, there's quite a bit of it. And then any overflow that doesn't fit in these chests gets sent on to the underground network under the sewers in the meadows, and we'll show you guys that as we work farther south. But this was all something that I did, and it was just fun. I like doing waterways. I like doing storage systems. I like doing redstone stuff, and it just, when you're done and you can provide the server with just goods and things that are just a really hard thing to get, or hard thing to get in quantity, you know, I mean, that solves all of our brewing problems, you know, with like spider eyes, and everybody's always looking for string. You really need it now for things like candles and all that kind of stuff. So next I moved on to do farms once the mine was done. And these are not crazy. Like, they're just your basic redstone farms. But I wanted to make them look decent, and I wanted to make them... I didn't really have a design style. It was more like I wanted it to look like the materials that I had access to. So logs and woods and planks and fences and things. So I did like log flume collection. And this was all pre-113, but it still worked. And so it's just your basic, you know, observer sugarcane farm, but it all gets collected into these streams, and it looks almost like a game show, you know, from the 80s, which I thought was really kind of funny.
I just remember just seeing it and just thinking how astonishingly massive this entire contraption was.
Right? Like, you think this is big when you're first starting out Minecraft, and then you build the nether wart farm thinking like, this is huge, because it's twice the size of the sugarcane farm. He's like, this is nothing.
Well,
This is just
talking about
bananas.
huge, because we've got this one here, and I remember that it got to a point where you really love the design, but we just don't really use it.
No, it's like because you built it and you're like, well, if I'm gonna build it, I might as well build it big. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. It takes almost a half an hour to replant everything once you've harvested it. But once you've harvested it, unless you're building with netherwort blocks, unless you're like doing massive amounts of brewing, you don't use it all. Like I've never run out.
It's a lifetime supply right there.
No,
And
there's a manual farm in the Nether that actually is more convenient because it takes 30 seconds to replant, and if you just pick it every time you walk by, then you end up with almost as much as you get with this. I mean, this was just meant for like to kickstart everything, right?
Yeah. Then you've got your melon and pumpkin farms.
Yeah.
And,
So and all of these are just basic,
yeah,
your basic farms to just get going. But because it's in this area where everybody's always got them loaded, they're just jammed. Like they're all full, and it's great because people can come and get melons and pumpkins, and there's melons, cactus, pumpkins. The pumpkins was a fun design because it has like a central collection column. The water actually flows down the middle, and that's how everything gets collected.
I completely forgot that my back door is here.
Oh, right.
It's almost like a secret back entrance into things. That takes you down into my little cabin area, and then into my house, which I ended up building as well, which has gone through 2 rebuilds. It's
I think so,
using Pixel Rift's one chunk build design, which was great because it taught me so much about making buildings. Trying to just build, like, I try and mimic other people's designs on the server just to try and learn how to build. And following Pix's one chunk build tutorial, I mean, this is pretty close to exactly what he built, but it taught me a lot.
Well, and that's how I've learned to build, watching people like Pixel Riffs or Whip or Mythical Sausage do their thing, especially if they do a block by block tutorial on YouTube. I'll throw it on and I'll be listening and watching, but also just kind of like, oh, that's how they get that corner to look like that, or that's an interesting way to do that roof or can make that connection. And the thing that I learned, which I think you picked up on here, is that I always was defaulting for stairs for roofs, and more interesting shapes come by using blocks or blocks and stairs. Especially later on when you have different block textures, and you can do all kinds of different roofs with that kind of stuff, which is nice.
Yeah, I'm still trying to learn how to do more of the terraforming way, like with all the greenery over the roof and stuff.
Yeah, that takes time and practice, and it looks good though. I mean, I think it looks pretty natural. I think it looks good. The problem I think too is that you have to do it with bushes. If you do it with vines, then they grow forever, and you end up with like things that touch the ground. And unless you're using the new cave vines, which you can control, but you can't control the regular vines. I don't think anyway, unless I'm wrong on that. I don't think we have to stick with just my builds in the meadows because there's just so much cool stuff to look at. We might as well just talk about everything that's here.
Well, I do want to apologize again for blowing up your barn.
Oh, right. I remember that now. So, I mean, it's my own fault. I mean, like this is my main storage. It's my barn. It's what I've used since like day one for this area. It's open. There's no door on it. And I just thought, well, I don't need a door. I'm good enough at this game that I can deal with it. But what I ended up doing because of creepers is putting a cat out here.
One occasion before the cat was there, I walked past and a creeper got me, and I sent Joel just a screenshot of all of his belongings just littering the floor.
On the ground. Yeah, everything was on the floor, all of it. There was a hole in the floor. It was a giant mess. My guess is the creeper was probably on the roof because I doubt this is spawn proof. No, not even close. Not even close. So yeah, that kind of stuff happened a lot early game. I got blown up. I've rebuilt this little pond, which was here. There was a pond here, but I reshaped it. And then it blew up and I reshaped it again. And then it blew up a third time and I reshaped it again. So what's funny about underneath this pond is that it's mostly cobblestone because it's been relined and reinforced because I got so tired of having it blown up every time that I completely just reinforced the whole thing.
Talking about ponds in early game, like there's this one over here, this little lake. And
is your sign? Oh, it's still in it.
Yeah. I posted this the first day.
Yep. I think it was on a block, and I did eventually move it because it would be funnier now that we could waterlog blocks. Once they allowed waterlogging, I moved it to be half floated or half flooded, which I thought was solid.
Yeah, and where we've got the portal, this used to be the tree farm. The trees are not laid out in the way that they were during the tree farm days, but that was our first tree farm before that moved.
Yeah, I don't know why we decided to move the portal there. Oh, you know what it was? It was a conflict. Oh, that's right. You built the no, because that wasn't it the first portal was here. It's now a staircase, but this was the first portal. And then you built your Stargate. I
had another portal. Yeah, I had one that I'd done fashioned in the shape of a Stargate. And you went through to the Nether. And when you came out, you expected to come out here, and you got very disorientated when you came out in my place.
Right.
And it was because, and it would only happen sometimes. It wasn't all the time. And I think it's probably just depending on whether you're on the left or the right side of the block. But it was just enough to sometimes hook up to mine. And I remember you telling me that I had to come up with a way of shutting it on and off, which is what's led to me now building a whole Stargate network that is toggleable.
Right.
And which was actually quite a fantastic situation to come into, otherwise that never would have happened. But yeah, you then figured out how portal coordinates work, and then we moved it to actually where it is more in relation to the portal in the Nether. And I remember you saying you just wanted to do another cool portal in the rock face, really.
Right.
And I love the design that you did for this.
Yeah, this has been blown up and it hasn't been fixed. It's not quite the way. The bottom is not supposed to be a 2x2, like it's supposed to have a little bit more design to it, but
it's easy to get out of now, though.
Yeah, judging from this, yeah, that's fair. Judging from this pattern of grass, I'd say that this has had an explosion in the last little while that we haven't fixed. Because this path used to go all the way into the rocks and the portal and stuff. But we'll go through in the Nether when we're done in the meadows. I think that'll be a good branch.
How did you come up with the design of it being like a snaking S shape?
I think I probably saw it online somewhere. It's probably something I saw on Hermitcraft or maybe just like Instagram or something like that. People explaining like different ways that you could do portals and realizing that you didn't have to leave them square. Like you could make them big and then carve out a smaller design in them, that kind of stuff. It could have been something as simple as Etho doing a slightly different shape. And then me realizing, oh, okay, well, if I can do any shape I want. And eventually, I don't remember when stone stairs came in, but once it got a redo once we got the different slabs and stuff, because it was mostly cobble stairs and it looked okay, but it looks better now that we have all the different kinds of blocks and stuff.
Sometimes you forget when
absolutely,
Minecraft was like before some blocks existed.
Yeah.
Like stone stairs? Oh right, that was a time when that was new.
Yeah, absolutely. And we still, I mean, people have their own farms for their different builds, but like we still have the manual tree farm here around the corner behind Alastair's. It just was the most convenient place to put it. You know, we kind of decided between the two of us, because I think it was still just the two of us. I don't remember who was the next person online. Maybe Mattcast, actually.
Mattcast was the third, yeah.
Yeah, so then, and that's his place up on the hill. But like, once we had Mattcast, should probably just give myself oh, are you sleeping? You did. Sweet. Thank you.
Yep.
Once we knew where Mattcast wanted to build, we set up the manual tree farm. And it's been the same. Like this is a very, very early server tree farm, but we've not really needed much. Like once you have all the saplings, as long as people are returning saplings to the chests, and you know, it doesn't get used that much because it's not loaded as much anymore now that Sharky's done his giant tree, which is that's where Steven ESC does his home base in the meadows, was this thing here. And
the reason why we don't have fire tick anymore.
Oh, that was sad. I remember that. Very busy individual, very happy to be on the server. Got 90% of the tree done, maybe 75, and then it got hit by lightning when I was AFK one day, and I didn't realize it, and the whole thing just burnt down. The whole thing. So we turned off fire tick that day. We were trying to play it old school, and then we're just like, nope, this is just not worth it.
and we'd all had stuff burned down.
Yeah,
And
holes in
we were just
roofs
kind of like,
mostly.
yeah, and it was just kind of like, you know what, we've done our time.
Yeah,
We've suffered long enough. We've had that experience. Let's just turn it off, and
yeah.
because that's not that wasn't fun for Steven. But he's rebuilt it, and he's done a fantastic job with it.
Oh, absolutely,
The
absolutely.
giant sapling, I believe he calls it.
And then we've also got the creeper farm over here, which I think the signpost has
Yeah,
been removed. There's the the post is here. The sign is not there.
I would imagine a creeper's probably responsible.
Probably,
For that
probably. But this is the output for the creeper farm, and because again it's loaded in Dartmouth Meadows all the time, we always get the drops. And this is an old school glitch block. I don't even know if this still works. But you used to be able to shoot items into blocks, and they would kind of glitch their way up through a 3x3 column of blocks, and that's how we
I think that
collected
still
it.
works. I think it's just not the most efficient way of doing it anymore.
No, it
I
wouldn't
think
be.
it still works.
Wouldn't be. Anyway, we can go down and take a look. Can I get off the
Yeah,
ladder?
Cosmic, that's exactly how I assume it is as well. Oh, I'm inside Joel.
That's weird.
That's disturbing.
Personal boundaries. It's a long way down. I remember building this was such a pain because we had to come. We wanted to do it all the way at the bottom of the world to have the most efficient drops and stuff. But the creepers end up being washed in here. They're killed on the magma block, and then their drops get sent up upstairs. I think the door for the creeper farm. Oh yes, green for creeper. Follow the carpets.
Yeah. And this is where there was a massive, there was like a spider spawn. This is the first spider spawner that I ever tackled.
Oh, that's right. We had to kill one. Yeah, we had to destroy one.
Yeah.
So this is just a bunch of platforms. I think we can see it. Oh, there's a viewing platform up top. We'll look down on it. But there's just a bunch of platforms that spawn. Oh, there we go. He found the way up. It's been a long time since I've been here. Yeah, so there's just like I want to say there's 3 floors inside. There's cats in the middle. And the creepers run out the edges here, trapdoor traps, and then they are just moved along with water streams until they come out the bottom. But it's done the server well. You know, it's the only exclusive creeper farm that we have. And it's been adorned with something way cooler to look at, which is MacCast's Creeper Hall. This was a fun story.
Yeah.
I don't remember which birthday it was, but it was MacCast's birthday, maybe one of his first on the server. And
I think so, yeah.
he was famously getting blown up all the time. Like every time a creeper explosion, it was like MacCast. Like you knew who it was. And so you and I built this creeper on top of his house, the one that was upstairs. And if I remember correctly, I was kind of juvenile, and I put a water stream out the bottom of it, like it was taking a piss on his house. Pretty sure.
Yeah, well, it was because there was like the river, but it just kind of comes from nowhere, and we were kind of discussing it. And I was like, why don't we just have it just peeing on that?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So it was a joint effort, but yes, it was just basically urinating over MacCast's place for ages. But we took it down.
Yeah, we were good server mates. We took it down, like we put it up, but we also took it down.
We took several screenshots, and he was able to rebuild it down here. But the thing is, every time, because of the distance that it was, every time I was in my house, I would look out the window and think a creeper was there. Because of the distance, it actually looked actual creeper-sized right by my window.
Yeah. It
just scared the bejesus out of me every time.
The perspective. So, your brain gets trained for them, especially early game. You know, and in Dartmouth Meadows, where it's so much landscaping, like so much is just grass and dirt and plants. And like if something goes off, you're like, oh gosh, this is going to take 45 minutes to fix. But I mean, this isn't one of my builds. This is MacCast 100%. And man, does it look cool. Like I haven't been in here since he finished it. I came by at one point when he was like, hey, I'm working on this. What do you think of like this block for this area or whatever? Like, and he's got like slime blocks, and he's using like the transparency of the slime blocks. He's got sea lanterns back there. I love the torches.
Yeah, I've borrowed this design. I think a few other people on the server have ended up borrowing this design as well, just because it looks so good. The way he's lit up the creeper as well, both top and bottom, is fantastic. And he was deliberating a lot on the ceiling,
Yeah, it
and
looks
I think
great.
it's fantastic.
It
It's
looks
so well
really
done.
good. I love the shroom lights with the glass, like they almost look gooey, like they look like they're kind of dripping. Like it's really, really well done, and so many different blocks, and yet they all seem to work really well together. And is this
Yeah,
Blackstone?
it is. Yeah, he was the
It is.
first to really delve into the Blackstone things. As soon as that came out, he was just mining the whole lot of it.
Yeah, it works really well. Surprisingly, I mean, not
Yeah.
not big, not because of Matcast, but like I don't like Blackstone, but he's made it look really good. Um,
Mm.
very very cool, and I like the floor up here too. I should take a higher look. There we go. Like there's lights in the floor, so you don't. This was made long before 118 when they changed the lighting. So he could have it darker in here, now, but I think he probably had to painstakingly light this so that it wouldn't be a problem. But there's a lot of really cool stuff. Some weird
Yeah.
glitches in the slime blocks though. Textures. Or is that
Oh,
glass?
weird.
That's the glass
I'm not.
texture. No, it's
Yeah,
it's
I'm
it's
not
me.
seeing
It's
that
my
on
it's
mine.
my texture pack. It's
Yeah.
because I don't have Optifine anymore. I'm using sodium, and my texture pack for transparent
Ah.
glass is specified for Optifine. It works most of the time in this. So if you see any glitches, folks, then it's my shader pack, not shader pack, resource pack. Now while we're down here, there's a squid farm, which
Mhm.
is built right outside of Matcast. I think that's this way.
Was a squid farm.
No, it's still Squid Farm. Oh, does it not work anymore?
No, because when the
Oh,
updated product
right.
came out, it changed where squid spawn, so we had to decommission it. But there was so much ink that had backed up that it kept us going for ages. I think we finally emptied it.
I think so. Yeah. Oh, right. The fountain is where it goes upstairs. We'll show you the top, but the bottom down here, I think, is you can get out this way. Yeah. Right, because this isn't a river. This
Right,
isn't a
yeah.
river biome. It used to be, but it's not a river biome yet. So, which sucks because this took a long time to build. It's a lot of hoppers too. It looks like it's been slowly reclaimed. Like I think someone's taken some hoppers because it used to be an entire floor of hoppers.
That looks exactly like that's what's happened.
Yeah, that's really funny. It's funny because people can see on the map too, like we're underneath the lake, and then there's the fountain and stuff. So we'll go back up and show where we hook up to Matcast's place. Someone asked in chat if this means that this is the end of the Citadel. No, 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 no. This is just a tour. We did a reward in December. I hit 200 subscribers on Twitch in December, and so the perk for that was me doing a tour here on the Citadel of my builds. We're doing most of the Dartmouth Meadows, and we'll move on to the rest of the stuff outside of here. Will be mostly my builds because there's too much to do an entire tour. We'd be here for streams and streams and streams. But if we want to go up here, I was really happy with this idea of having the squid farm before it died. I kind of put the top of it. Oh yeah, it's empty now. This is where the squid ink would come out in the fountain and then be collected by these hoppers, and so people could come up and just get squid ink from the lake, which I thought was kind of cool.
Mm. One of the things that I have, just in case anyone's interested, one of my channel rewards is to tour a specific person's build. So if after today there's any other builds that aren't one of Joel's,
Oh, cool.
then that's something that can be redeemed.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, we mentioned it at the start, but we might as well mention it again. Your Twitch channel is your name, right? AlastairMcFly.
Yeah.
So people should go follow Alastair as well because different perspective on the server, different builds. He's got his own stuff going on. I'm not going to go through Matcast's house because I get lost, but from the outside, he's got this really cool, like California cliffside mansion with like a slime block elevator. He's got everything decorated inside. He's got like a fireplace, and I really like the outside. Like I really like the fountains and the aquarium in the front walk. Like just kind of takes in everything that was happening as the game was updating with 113.
Yeah. This is where the creeper was.
Right, yeah, the creeper was up here. Yeah, the
And,
creeper was up here.
Oh, I just remembered. I uninstalled Windows. I went through his house. I removed every single window and put it into a block and said, "Happy birthday, uninstalled Windows for you."
Right.
And he came in. He never saw the chest, and he just thought there'd been a glitch, and so he went and had to get more glass and just redo all his windows. And then he found it later. I was like, no.
Yeah. Enraged Wombat in the chat says that it's a modern build. Yeah, it's really well done too. I quite like the design. It's in high contrast to other things here in the meadows, but we were all fine with that. Like the idea was just like build with enough area that you're not going to encroach on your neighbor, be sensitive to what other people are building, and just don't make it look like it's completely out of context. Like for whatever reason, like a giant castle there would feel kind of strange, but because he's just built a modern house, like that's what people were basically doing, was like building houses. You know, we've got Anna Inferno's house is on the hill over here. We've got Megan's almost finished house. I don't know, maybe it might be finished here, which is like similar to Macast's but different. You know, it was just nice to have everybody do their own thing.
Yeah, and I think at some point every single person has said at some point I want to build a modern house like Macast's.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's kind of inspired a lot of people that like for the modern city and things like that. Like,
that's 100% why I did the modern city, is because I wanted to get into modern building, having been staring at Macast's build forever, right?
Oh, I didn't realize that was the direct response to that. That's cool.
Yeah, well, it's like, oh yeah, I totally want to do something like that, and then I just had other things on the go and trying to work through all the different plans that I had for the server. But I mean, really, there's not a heck of a lot more here. We've got a couple more farms. There's the Perper farm in the back there. Macast built that. He's also built, it looks like, a Nether farm. It does like warped wood and crimson wood and stuff. And there's a Nylium farm. So all of these things are just basically like they're in the area where a lot of people were living and playing, so they stay loaded. The coarse fruit grows quickly, all that kind of stuff. And I kind of took it upon myself to kind of connect everything. So I started doing all these different paths to make sure that it was obvious, like, oh, there's a build here. So it's all manicured. And so when you go in here to the lounge, the Perper lounge, which is another crazy build, it just, because it's so wacky, he decided to build it underground. And then I kind of tied everything together with like a rustic path, which kind of suits what's happening everywhere else. So it's a really,
you say, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't interfere with the rest of the area.
No,
because of how he's tucked it away.
No. And yes, someone asking about the ghosts. Megan put them up for Halloween and hasn't taken them down.
It was it was Anna Marie. It was
Anna Marie. Oh, it was a prank, was it?
Yeah, part prank, part gift. She had some around her own house as well, but she left them at Megan's, and Megan I don't think Megan even wants to take them down.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. I think the next thing that I did going through here would have been the food situation, right? Like once we had more than a couple of people on the server, we needed a solution for the food. And so
this is kind of the lag farm for a little while as well.
It's not nearly as bad as it used to be. You're right. It used to be terrible in here because of all the mobs. But we've got manual sheep farm for all the different colors of wool. Obviously, a sheep has escaped somehow. Looks like we're missing orange. But then down here, we've got the overly elaborate chicken cooker. Like you can do this in a couple of blocks, and I have done on my modded series. But when I was doing this kind of stuff, I wanted stuff to look cool. So we've got a bunch of chickens that are crapping out eggs. They go up a dropper vader into a water stream, which you can't see right now. Is the water even here? Yeah, it is. Just the texture for the glass is not showing it. And then they all get in here, and then eventually they get cooked. And so this, when it's loaded, has lots of chicken for people to eat, which is great.
Yeah,
it also sorts out the feathers.
Again, water mechanics did change how this worked, and it did break a little bit. So
that's right.
Repair work, and it's still not quite as efficient, but I mean, with the amount that this is loaded, and the amount we use, it's fine.
And I mean, I've moved on to golden carrots. I think a lot of other people have too. Because we've got those. I mean, like this would have been showcased much more recently on streams because I had to come back and fix this. But we've got these all broke when 1.14 switched, and it took us ages to go back and fix them. But now we've got auto carrot farms and auto potato farms Oh, there's a poisonous potato in there. That's no good. Um,
I've not moved on to golden carrots just yet. I'm kind of moving on to pork, mostly through inspiration from Cosmic.
mm-hmm.
It's Cosmic's fault I'm now eating pigs.
I think you should only eat things that you have to cook with fire. I feel like that should be a thing.
That's pretty much I have pigs. I have my British baked potatoes as well, my jacket potatoes.
Nice.
And and I've got my cow farm as well, which is not the most humane method of cooking.
So, I guess we could probably do like the underside, because all of these farms, they actually connect. The easiest way is going to be going down through here, I think. But all three of those villager farms, as well as the farm for the wheat, if we go down this back door here, this all goes to an underground collection system, and that's where even the string from the spiders, actually, case in point, there goes some wheat now, but there's two rivers. There's one that comes along here, and that's got all the carrots and potatoes and stuff like that in it, and then the spider eyes and the wheat and everything else come in through this other way, and they all go down and connect to the greenhouse, which is again where we keep all of the stuff for the server. And it was a really fun redstone build for me. We have to go around the corner and then duck underneath stuff here. But this is a place where all of the greenhouse stuff is sorted. And originally this was all those glitchy block elevators, but when 1.13 came out, I was upgrading all the farms in the meadows to have the bubble vaders. And go from there. I just picked up potatoes by accident. They're coming through. They're coming through.
I still remember trying to find you when you were here, and I didn't realize, because you kind of described where it was, I didn't realize that this was like a big ravine. I just fell down to my death.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just splattered right on the floor, and that was me gone.
That's really funny. So this separates out melons, pumpkins, string, and then carrots, potatoes, and wheat. And all goes upstairs. We can go upstairs and check it out. And this is all built and designed. This was a really fun thing to do. I think there might be a video on this. Like, I think this was back when I was still doing Let's Plays on YouTube. There's two YouTube channels I should mention, actually, folks. There's Joel Duggan on YouTube is where you can find early Let's Plays of a lot of these builds, where I do like a 20 to 30 minute edited video. And then on the Joel Duggan VODs channel, that's where the last year or so of this server has been. However, it's all been in a different area, so none of the builds you're going to be seeing today are on the VODs channel, but there are a great number of builds in detail on the Joel Duggan channel on YouTube. So everything here, the greenhouse, just kind of collects everything. There are chests down here, kind of a design flaw on my part, but it means that we can store more stuff. It just means that when we're running low, it tends to accumulate at the bottom. I think I put the potatoes in the wrong thing. I had that backwards. The wheat was green and the potatoes were yellow. But as you can see, the string does eventually get here. It's just that with people online and not living in this area anymore, a lot of the stuff isn't loaded all the time.
I suppose this is probably your first modern style build as well.
Yes. Yeah. And even then, like, it was modern-ish, but it was kind of like I was stuck with the blocks that I had, and you don't have a lot of leeway with glass. Like, you can't do stairs, and I wanted to do something that looked cool, and I was trying to keep I wanted to do the glass walls, but then I didn't want zombies or creepers to come in and drop from the ceiling. So that's where the iron trapdoors come in for the top of it. And I think it looks kind of cool. I mean, it keeps it from looking like, you know, every other greenhouse build you've ever seen, right? It does get a little bit chuggy in here because this is where we have our mess of villagers that I've still not cleaned up. But this was back when you had to cycle through villager after villager after villager and then get rid of them. You'd have to call one villager up, decide what trades they had, and then through this machine, green or red decide keeping the villager and send them into a cell, or send them off to a lava-filled death in the basement.
Neither of which sound very pleasant.
No, which is why we call this the Hotel of Eternity. And this was a fun build. I really liked decorating this and making it look like it was overgrown. And it's obviously been a little bit helter-skelter since 1.14. We've had to add lecterns. We've had to move some people around that haven't found a home. We haven't decided what villagers to keep or get rid of. But this is what happens when you've already reached endgame before they make all these changes, because everybody has like their silk touch mending pickaxes. And so there's not a lot of reason to come back here unless you've lost something in lava.
Yeah, like villagers. I mean, at least we know we've got a good supply of them here.
Yeah.
And in fact, this was because there was changes being made. We
Yeah.
just decided to breed up a ton of them just to make sure that we had enough.
Yeah, we didn't want to deal with the crazy constant changing breeding mechanics, because that's what the build next door is a villager breeder. And yeah. I don't think it still works because there's no beds as far as I can tell.
And also the whole way that the breeding mechanics have changed as well.
Yeah. So now instead of, you used to just be able to feed them carrots and they would breed. And so I don't remember, I think this was a Frilioth design maybe that I modified and made look cool. But essentially the villagers would go in here. They'd end up in that holding tank inside the Hotel of Eternity. But all of this is now just, it looks cool, so I'm keeping it around, but it doesn't function at all.
Yeah, and it was, I believe this was back when it was used a bunch of doors, and doors constituted a village. So
right. There was. I think that it got revamped at some point. There's definitely a video about me fixing it. Pretty sure there was a video about me fixing it. But yeah, that's essentially what happened.
Oh, I was just coming down to do this.
That's all right. I got it. It is cool to see meadows at night, but it's also nice to kind of see everything that we want to do. And then this.
Let's move on.
Yeah, there's nothing to see here. I did nothing to.
It's one of my favorite areas.
I know.
Especially after you did the wheat texture. Your wheat texture just makes this so much better. And also the too high, like with the varying heights.
Right. Yeah. The different heights. That's something I picked up from Jermsy Boy. I think this actually might be his texture that I've tinted to look better with vanilla blocks, because his was very realistic in terms of colors. But yeah, the too high wheat makes a big difference. I was kidding about moving on. I don't want to walk over Cosmic's build without saying hello. This is Cosmic's first build on the server. She's got Somerville, which y'all should check out on her streams. But I just thought, like, you can tell, like, immediately a personality shift from like some cool cabins and cool houses. Yes, there's flowers, but there's like little flower beds. But Cosmic is just like all the flowers, all the color, all at once, and it works. You know, like it still feels very Minecrafty, but it's definitely a shift from what was going on in the meadows beforehand, which I think is very cool.
I've joked about with her about this before, you know, and ribbed her for it, because when she first joined, the reason why she came out here and not quite in the middle of the meadows with everybody else was she was like, I don't want to build something that's going to not be pretty and make everything look terrible. And then she does something like this, and then she builds Somerville.
Yeah.
Which is by far the largest place on the server and probably the most colorful and vibrant.
Oh yeah, it's bananas. It's absolutely bananas. I've never been in it, and before we keep on going south, I want to take a look at Mattcast's tower, because
yes, the wizard tower,
because that's been looming over us. I've not actually taken a close look at this.
Oh no.
Plus there's the market. Well, that's new. Where'd that come from? There's a blackstone or a deep slate build there.
That's Mattcast for sure.
Yeah, but I'm distracted now. Hold on.
Right. This is where my kelp shop was going to be, and then that never happened. And he asked like if he could use the space. I was like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it looks like it's totally deep slate. Cobble deep slate, 1 diamond per stack.
Cosmic, is this worth it to you?
For those of you that don't know, Cosmic has been digging something underground and she's going through a lot of deep slate, so she already has enough. That is a bright window. The color choices are very, I like how he's got such a cool castle-esque build on like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 by 8. It's like a one. It's less than a chunk.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
cool.
he's really good at doing compact builds. That I'm not. I would try and do this, and it would be 3 times the size, just because I can't get the detail in a small space.
Yeah, I would end up being bigger than this too, because
And
I
he's done
like
quite
circles.
a lot of redstone shops here as well.
Yeah. So originally this was just supposed to be like a market where people could sell things that they had a lot of. But then ultimately, I kind of maybe was the blame for a lot of it going under because like I would build a community farm for pumpkins and Matt Cass would be just like, I just put a pumpkin shop in the market. And I'm just like, help yourself to all the pumpkins in the meadows. And he's like, so I'm out of business. Not a lot of early
Yeah,
communication on the server. It's something we were lacking, which is pretty funny.
yeah. The community farms, the one thing it did was it prevented any kind of currency
Yeah, we don't
and
have an economy on the server.
economy.
Yeah,
That's the word. Yeah.
we were thinking about putting an economy into the transportation blocks to take us to different areas, but that never really did happen. At least not yet.
I picked up 6 potatoes.
That could have been me. But yeah, so Maccass has got like a little fish shop, and I have a bone barn. I seem to have the bone meal on the server under my domain. That seems to be where I tend to have the noose on everything. But I did.
You helped me with the coal shop as well.
Yeah.
But I did some redstone here, which I think was from a video I saw from Mumbo, possibly.
Mm,
But the idea being basically you chop down the trees outside, throw the wood in there, and then it just makes charcoal, and then you've got basically infinite torches.
right. Yeah, I remember the tree farm. And then the bone barn is just again one of these fun little kind of one-off builds that are fun to do on servers in community areas where you know a lot of people are going to be walking by. And this was just meant to be like a place to hold the bones. And then I was just like, give me whatever you see fit. There was a sign that probably got blown off at some point. Oh, there it is. There, take what you need and leave fair trade in the chest. So that's kind of how we do the economy on here. It's not like diamonds are the most important because really I don't care about diamonds, but what I do care about are blocks that take me freaking forever, to collect. So when I was working on stuff in the end and when I was working on stuff in the nether, I was just like, I need all the sand and all the glass. So if you want something from me, bring me sand and you can have whatever you want. I just don't want to go back to the desert again.
Yeah, well, based on all that, I mean, does Matcast have a store for you when it comes to blocks you don't want to mine?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. So even though this is a community area, I was responsible for the river and the bridge and like kind of like the decor around the landscaping, and then people would just kind of grab a plot and do their own thing. This is another really cool Matcast build, the potion shop.
Yeah, the mini dock down here is beautiful.
Thanks. I think that was when I was first experimenting with like your brain defaults when you're new to Minecraft to like slabs, stairs, blocks. And you start to forget that you can start to use trapdoors and fences and things in different ways. And that was my first attempt at, I think this was my first time doing a waterfall. It did okay. I'm curious to see what these waterfalls are going to look like when the new water mechanics come in with the 118 update, because water will no longer flow up in corners in odd ways. So I'm hoping that it doesn't mess things up. But yeah, this is a fun little build to do, especially with the lighting. At nighttime, there's like glowstone hidden down here that you can sort of see. So it actually lights up the pond a little bit, which is fun.
So when it comes to the wizard tower, do you want to approach that from the outside or from the inside via the nether?
Let's go up and take a look at the outside now, and then we'll when we go to the nether, we'll come back to it because I know what you mean. We won't spoil the surprise within. It's like the TARDIS; it's bigger on the inside.
Yeah, perhaps don't show off the back though.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know whether Matcast is using a Pixel Rifts build or
I think this might have been,
or it's certainly inspired by, would be my guess. But I really like it. It's cool. And because of how colorful it is and how whimsical it is, it still matches all the stuff in the meadows, despite the fact that it's that it's a wizard tower. Like like what it is. It doesn't look exactly like it fits, but at the same time, we've got modern houses next to red barns, next to water towers, and weird, like, colorful redstone farms in the distance. Like, all that kind of stuff really kind of makes this possible, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and he was talking about building this for a long time as well.
Yeah.
Like, this was always on his to-do list. And then I remember just logging on, and it was just there. Like, it just sprung up overnight. I just missed the entire development of it.
Yeah, really, really well done. So yeah, I think the thing to do, we can head down here and take a look at some of the builds south, but I think we should probably go through the main portal into the Nether. That's probably the best reveal.
Just thinking the same, yeah.
For that. I'm going to stop flying around and walk around for a bit. Yes, Cosmic, I appreciate that. And yes, we're going to be taking a break in we'll probably look at these two builds. Well, let's finish up my 3 builds here going south, and then we'll take a break. For folks new to the streams, I take a break about once an hour. We're just about there now. I just walk away, give myself a rest for 5 or 6 minutes. You should too, grab a snack, all that kind of stuff. But we'll do that in just a few. But this was a lot of fun to set up, this water wheel and wheat farm. We're gonna have to sleep here in a second too, but I think there's a bed inside. Yeah, this was really, really fun. Hard to do before the lighting changes with 118 because this is just spawn central without all the torches. I've had to add like water, and there's pumpkins in the fields in order to keep it spawn free. It was really, really challenging to get all this done. And I've included the water to keep everything hydrated as like a little river that flows through. There's like a pond here that drains in a couple different directions. And so
I thought that was genius.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, it meant that I didn't have to plant as much wheat, but it also was just a lot of fun to have it look a little more natural. You can see it on the map here. You can see the different ways that the water meanders around, which is kind of fun. I'm going to pop in. Or do you have a bed?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
You'll be able to sleep. Just don't put it on the path.
Oh, no, I know. One of the interesting things with the old lighting mechanics is just how differently you built this than if you'd done it in creative.
Yeah.
Like, do you find that anything kind of changed as a result of that? Like, do you feel that like, especially, in fact, rather than sleep, like at nighttime, this does look really nice.
Oh, yeah.
Just the way it's illuminated.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you would have had if it wasn't for the lighting mechanics.
Yeah.
Is that going to change things going forward with the new ones, with how you design?
Well, the path would still be lit up like it is, but I think you're right. I don't know that I would have thought to put the pumpkins in the patches, or in the wheat in order to light things up. I don't know that I would have done that. So it could be different. I don't know. I might also just know that we've got more control. Like, you can do stuff like put candles under trapdoors and light something subtly, So that might be something we do in the future. Someone in chat is asking about the double high wheat texture. So one, that's, it's either a connected texture or maybe it's just double high through.
It's just double high. It doesn't.
It doesn't change it.
I don't think it needs Optifine or anything.
No,
it's just the resource.
I think the only thing that's Optifine related is like the randomness, because right now they all look very much the same. And I think this was a texture that I got from Germsy Boy, and I changed the color of it, but I didn't really redraw anything. And I think he had several different versions so that things don't look quite so uniform. When they all get full height, they have like different variations. But yeah, it was still a lot of fun to do. And this is a full water wheel. Like, this was the first time I designed a full mill. So we've got like a water wheel on the backside. Total. The river was here, but I custom landscaped the river to make it work with the water wheel here. Dropped the whole thing down by a block. This took forever. Like, this is naturally one block lower, so I had to clear off all the water by a block all the way down here. And to go back to what you were saying about the dock in the pond at the market, this is where I stretched those legs and said, okay, if I can do a little dock, like, what are the little kinds of bridges that I could make to have this little path that goes all the way along here with as minimal blocks as possible? This is a really fun exercise to try and figure out like what kind of bridges I could make with just your basic kind of like early game trapdoors, signs, cobblestone, bricks, like all that kind of stuff along here. It was.
That big lake in the meadows where we've still got the old sign. I
Mhm.
I don't know if you recall, I built a bridge over that at one point,
Mhm.
but it was massive. I couldn't get the scale right, and I remember when I first started seeing these, it's like, oh, these are so cool just because of how much more compact it is. Because sometimes it's like, oh, well, you put two legs, a leg either side
Yeah.
for the bridge, but then it's immediately like 5 blocks wide.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you want to put like walls on it or have anything else, like even the bridge behind you, it's challenging to get this feeling like it's got railings, right? You kind of have to make it
Mm.
look like it's knocked down a little bit, because otherwise it would be 5 blocks wide and like another 2 blocks taller and all that kind of stuff. But I really like doing builds like this because if it's not something that's seen every day, you can kind of experiment and figure out like how you want to do things. And I like seeing something and realizing I don't want the path to just stop. I kind of want the path to go up and curve out of sight. But then I just kind of have this exercise of like, how can I make this path look cool? Do a custom tree, learn how to do those, learn the path blocks, learn all this kind of stuff. So I use a lot of these little builds that surround the larger builds as like experiment time. Like it's not precious, like this is not fancy in the least, but it works, right? And so you kind of mentally file that into, I might need that some other time when I'm building 100 houses in a medieval town
Mm.
in 4 years time. And so you have that kind of like in your back pocket for designs and stuff like that. And this,
Ripple,
sorry, go ahead.
sorry, go on. No, go on.
This is where I started to think about multiple different paths connecting around the areas I build. So like rather than having one path and your builds off of that main path, now I've got like all these different ways that you can get back up and around. So you can walk around all of my builds. And I think it's an important thing for people that are like struggling with like, because I get asked questions a lot about like how you build the way that you do. It's because I think about things in 360 degrees. Like I think about like how I want this to look from every angle. And then you can also control that angle. Like when I built this in on the bridge, which is inspired by a Lego build, I knew I wanted to approach it from this way. So I want the impressions of it to be from this side. You can see it from other angles, but I really wanted it to be approached from this angle first, right?
Just before we go into the in on the build,
Mhm.
Rabelais was asking about whether you were streaming when the water wheel went in. I mean, was that something that's on your VOD channel? Is that something
Oh.
that's on your YouTube channel? I'm struggling to remember the time frame
I'm
of when
remembering
that went in.
thumbnails of the wheat field, so I'm guessing it's on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
The last thing that I built on the YouTube channel was the Wither Skeleton Farm, the big one.
Right. I think the in on the bridge was on
Before
your
that.
YouTube as well,
Definitely
wasn't it?
before that, yeah. The Inn and the Bridge is definitely on the YouTube channel because that's like a big 6-parter video because this took forever.
Yeah.
um,
And the portal was originally here as well.
that's right. Yeah, the portal for the South Meadows was eventually was in the wall here, but I completely landscaped this and moved everything because now not only is this a cool build just to look at, but it's functionally the south portal for the area, and you can't see it until you're on top of it. But it's really handy in that way.
Cosmic's submitted the link to the original inspiration, the
Oh,
Lego build
cool.
for this.
Cosmic is always on top of things.
No.
We should keep her around. What do you think?
I think that'd be useful. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe invite her on the server for a
Yeah, we
little
could
bit.
do that. Yeah. I think that'd be fun. She
Yeah,
might
feed
build
us some
some
pics.
flowers. She might plant some
She might do.
flowers. Yeah.
She might do.
But while we're here at the end of the bridge, it's probably a decent spot actually. I can show people the inside, and then it's a good point to walk away for a few minutes and take that break before we continue on. Because once we get into the Nether, I got a funny feeling it's going to be a long while before we come out.
That's fair.
But this was one of
Yeah.
the first interiors that I ever tackled. And I've come back since we've had the Chuck Chuck tables and chairs data pack installed. Because this was all trapdoors and stair blocks meant to look like chairs and stuff. And it works so much better with the tables and chairs data pack. Like this is how they used to look. There's an old vanilla chair, right? Like,
Yeah.
not terrible, but it's not the best.
I still need to play around because I've made these kind of tables. I didn't know they had cloths on them.
Yeah, you put a carpet on them.
Oh,
Pick a color
oh,
carpet,
that's cool.
and when you put the carpet on it, it changes immediately into a cloth table. So you can do red, you can do purple. You know the 16 colors in Minecraft. You can do it that way.
I'm gonna redo my castle.
It doesn't take very long. It's actually pretty cool. And then this was also my first time doing like a custom banner design to make it look like curtains, and it's all good if I could get them to stop blowing in the wind indoors. This is the only thing that bugs me about it. For the longest time, actually, when I first built this, the error in game was if these were loaded for too long, they'd stop moving, which was great because they were loaded in this area for so long that they stopped moving and they looked wonderful. But
And now it just looks like the inn has a draft.
yeah, all the windows are open despite being shut, that kind of stuff. But I think this might have also been my first fireplace, with like the smoldering log and the details and stuff like that. I've done so many now since then, and also before campfires. Like there's no smokestack or anything coming out of this. It's just straight up.
Also, yeah, also interesting use with the prismarine as well.
I wanted to build with something that I hadn't built with before, and I'm pretty sure this was built. Well, it would have had to have been built after Mattcast and I built the Guardian farm. And so once
Yeah,
we're in the Nether,
definitely.
we'll take a look at that because I'm sure folks will be wanting to see that. I might actually throw on some shaders before we go into the into um the the Guardian farm. I think that would be kind of cool. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
this is where I'm going to step away for a few minutes, folks. Alastair is probably going to do the same. We're going to refresh our drinks. You should too. Grab a snack. We'll be back in 5 or 6 minutes for more of my builds on the Citadel tour. Back in a few. I've returned to potatoes everywhere on the ground. I'm not sure if Alastair's back yet. Oh, I see his head moving. He's back.
I'm back.
Awesome. Awesome. Are these all your potatoes, I'm assuming?
Yes, yeah.
I'm going to steal them. Because I have to walk through
my inventory.
Because I have to walk through them.
They're cooked. They're raw. You are the cook out of the two of us.
Yeah, they're not jacket potatoes. They're just straight up potatoes. So before we move on from this, I guess we should take a closer look at the inn on the bridge. This was really fun to do. This was one of those builds where it started off as like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this. It'll only take a little while, and it took forever to get it to look right, to get the chimney to look right, to get the walkway, and then realize that I wanted to do like the underside of everything and make it do a full, build in the round, along with like this waterfall, and there's like a drain pipe over here. There's all this kinds of stuff that just needed to be given attention to. Even the path that kind of leads down the side from the bridge to come down here. Like, this was all really fun to do, but it took a really long time.
So I have a question for you regarding this build.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you're using a lot of Pinterest kind of models, and
yep.
I don't know if they're physical models or 3D models, but using a lot of those for inspiration for things. Obviously, this one, as we mentioned earlier, was based on a Lego build.
Yeah.
Do you find that it's easier with a Lego build because they've got sort of fixed block sizes anyway, or was it a bit more challenging because Lego blocks don't match up with the dimensions of Minecraft blocks?
Lego builds are easier to translate into Minecraft. You still can't do it one-to-one. Like, you kind of have to make up... You can use it for your own proportions, but you're kind of limited more so in Minecraft than people are in Lego. Because Lego, they can build angles, they can do certain connections that you can't do in Minecraft. But I think
they're typically taller than wider, whereas they're cubic.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem with other stuff that you mentioned, like the Pinterest stuff, and for people that want to know, like, my Pinterest page is public. You can see all my boards, my inspiration boards. There's not a lot compared to someone like Whip that has like an absolute metric ton of stuff pinned. But the harder part with something like a digital model for a video game or a physical model for like a tabletop role-playing game is that they're not made with blocks. They're made with, plastic, and they're painted, and they look amazing because they've got all this detail on them. And so then you have to try to translate that. I think there's a bigger challenge in using the models than there is with Lego. I think with Lego, you're more apt to copy exactly what Lego is doing closer than if you have a model that will not be able to be built exactly in Minecraft. So then you interpolate it. Like, that's kind of how I think things go. But yeah, I think this is one of the last builds for me. There's only one more, including this path. That was a lot of fun to do. And I think this path is also a video, along with the bridge that's on the other side of it as well.
I just admiring the inside of that. I don't think I've even been inside the bottom bit before.
Oh, really? Yeah, I designed all the insides everywhere to make sure that they made sense. Just like beds, crates, like different things. These are note blocks, by the way, for people that are wondering what they are. A lot of Minecrafters use them as crates, even with the vanilla texture. But welcome in, Sakan Duncan. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Appreciate you coming by. Hope you're having a good day. So if we go down this path to the south, we will come up on another large build that took far too long. You can see just how big this sugarcane field is. This
was
massive.
laggy at one point. I mean, I don't know what Mojang did, but they've done a lot for optimization where this just doesn't kill us anymore.
No, well, it was killing us because it was all still growing. That was one problem, right?
Right.
Now that it's all full grown, because I would harvest half of it and then plant and like do that process to spread it out. And during that growing time, playing here was problematic.
So basically growing pains.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I see what you did there. This is also Creeper City. Like, one, they spawn everywhere. Two, you are not seeing them coming. So we don't go in here. It's fun to walk by. It looks nice, but it was just meant to create like a cool visual barrier between Somerville, which is Cosmic's build on the horizon there, and the rest of the stuff here in the meadows. And this is where the meadows kind of starts to break down into like, I wanted to build a bridge. I'd never done a big medieval bridge before. I knew I wanted to do the medieval zone. So I was like, I need to learn some stuff before I go there and really kind of build something big. So this was the build that I decided to kind of cut my chops on. And it's okay. I like the design, the shape of it, is everything's fine. I feel like it's still a little bit gray, but this was before things like Deep Slate and Tough, and I feel like I would have approached it a little bit differently with a different palette now. But I was still learning how to do roofs. I was still learning how to do bridges and connect everything.
I still remember you doing these very pointy roofs, and that was a big thing that you were trying to focus on.
Yeah, the roofs were hard to get. I remember doing a couple of iterations of the roofs. And I remember one of the really challenging parts was wanting to do cool textures, but because it's a slab bridge, like, you can't do cracked bricks on every other section of it. It doesn't work, right? So, because there are no cracked slabs. I think that's where the meme came from. Was this bridge was the Joel and the cracked slabs? It's that or the Spawn Chunks podcast. It's one of those two.
You were definitely doing it here first.
Yeah.
I remember those complaints, and then it was when I was building my Stargate. I was like, "Yeah, I'm with you on this."
Yeah,
because of the steps leading up to the Stargate. I was like, "I want cracked slabs too."
Yeah.
I vividly remember standing down here with you at the very top, going left or right, Alastair, left or right.
Yes. Yeah.
Decide which is the better design
of the two towers.
The two
yeah.
roofs. Yeah. When you were doing them.
I remember I used to fly up on this ridge to look down at it because I was trying to get perspective on how it looked. But I mean, everything's got builds inside of it too. Like, there's a guardhouse over here that's got the tables and chairs data pack in it. It's got a little bed. You can go up into the towers and walk across the top of the bridge here.
I didn't realize you'd updated it with the tuk-tuk tables.
Yeah, I think I went back and just kind of like, once I figured out that data pack would work, I went back to all the different builds that I had done and just replaced them because it works so much better. Works so much better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I like being up here. I like that, like, all of these things have got like lookout places. And of course, the higher up you get, the more of the meadows you can see, and the cooler things like the sugarcane farm looks. And it's really kind of a fun, I guess, lesson in terms of like building something that you want to look at as one thing, but then also, if you're inside that thing or up a tower or on the roof or on the second floor, you gotta think about what you can see from up there and how that perspective changes. That's why I like walking around doing tours as opposed to flying around. It's cool to take a 360, and whip around and kind of show people what it looks like. But I design so much of what I do from how it looks from the player's perspective on the ground standing, right?
Yeah. I'm looking for a blue flower. Apparently there's a blue flower around here. Oh, there it is.
Really?
I found it.
Where's the...
Yep.
Where are you? Can't see where you went. Oh, there he is. Where's the blue flower?
Because Cosmic, there was a message from Cosmic saying that blue flower was indeed placed by me and he never noticed.
Where's the blue flower? Oh, is it in here? Oh, that's awesome. Well played.
Makes it very homely. Is this kind of like a coat hanger type situation here as well?
Yeah, so that's an armor stand.
That.
So we've got the armor strand data pack that people have been seeing on servers like Hermitcraft and stuff like that. So the armor stand is just wearing leather armor. You hide the armor stand and then you put the lever on the wall and it looks like it's hanging, which is cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember putting the map there.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, what point was this, and how much has been built since then?
Oh man, the sugarcane farm is there. I don't see. I don't see Macast's wizard tower. It doesn't look like it's there.
Wizard Tower is a little bit further up.
Oh, is it?
It would be
Okay.
where the trapdoor is above
Hmm.
there. Because
Oh.
at the very top you've got the farm, and it's just a little bit further beyond that, isn't it? Or is it?
I
No,
thought it was
wait,
pretty,
no,
pretty,
it's not.
pretty
It's
parallel to the farm, I think.
yeah, no, you're right. It's in the top right corner. That's where that should be. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an older map. I don't remember putting a map up in here. I might have just been doing it to check something and then forgot to take it down, which is something I would probably do. I'm just going to sleep
Cosmic,
here.
did you put a map in here?
Cosmic might have. I don't know. I don't
to
know.
map the flowers.
Well, let's walk back through the meadows just in case we've missed anything.
Well, didn't you make the bridge for Cosmic?
No, I think I
Yep.
kind of gave her an outline, and then
okay.
she did it. Pretty sure this is her design.
Yeah. One other thing though is we do have over here a portal that we made and we never did anything with it.
That's the
still just-
one portal that's just not been changed. Hey.
Yeah, there's stuff on the other side. Like
Yeah.
Mattcast did a wonderful job on the other side, but this is just perfect vanilla portal.
Yeah, we just never came back here because I think basically this is where Dartmouth Meadows stopped expanding. The only person down here now is Cosmic, doing crazy things over there.
And there's the village that Mattcast kind of set up over there as well. But that's about it. And this is where we had this is the first time we found birch, which is the whole reason for the birch portal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was the birch portal and the dark oak. That was access to the dark oak forest because that's just the tip of the dark oak forest in the distance there.
Yep. All right. So
yeah, I'm gonna walk back to meadows here just because we don't often get to walk through here. If anybody's new in chat since the break, my name's Joel Duggan. That's AlastairMcFly. Both of us stream here on the server. So does Cosmic. And from time to time, Anna Inferno, she hasn't streamed in a long time.
Yeah, her internet hasn't been great, so she's waiting to upgrade that.
I love how far away you can see the tower. That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
really cool.
To view around here.
Yeah. Yeah, walking down this way is always really fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if we should show off. I guess we can go to the iron farm and the moss farm via the Nether. That's probably the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
There is some stuff in between, but not a lot. But yes, both Alastair and I stream on the server. It's a 4-year-old server, and I've been spending most of my last year in a different area, but because of the cool and wonderful support of people on Twitch, for me this is a Twitch reward of a server tour of my builds, and we are going to duck into the Nether because I don't think we missed anything. I think we covered everything here that's mine or been either something that I built or part of my experience, I think, in the meadows. But Alastair and Mattcast and I built this. This is monstrous. This is our main Nether portal and Nether hub that has a zombie pigman pair hanging out on the top of the portal. That's the first time I've ever seen that. Interesting.
Yeah, same.
But this is the ceiling, so that's bedrock ceiling right there, and it goes all the way down to Y level 30, and it is a massive build. I'm just going to do something here. I'm going to turn on shaders just quickly to see what this looks like, because I imagine it probably looks pretty cool.
Shaders will also function better in the Nether than in the overworld.
Yeah. That's really cool. It just gets a little bit foggier. That's it. It actually looks pretty cool. I'm going to leave these on for now until my frames start to be crazy. But this was, I don't even remember what inspired this. Probably something on Hermitcraft, probably something Cubfan did that I thought, that's massive and awesome, and I want to do something like that. And then for a long time, I was in here. You can see why we needed the giant netherwort farm.
Yep.
I do have a...
This was...
Sorry, go ahead.
Go on. I was just going to say this was just terrifying when it was being built. Now that it's built, and I'm used to the glass floor, that's fine. But when
yeah,
there wasn't even a floor here, it was terrifying. I still remember you had a design that you did on graph paper. You did this like a side-on cutaway view as you were planning everything out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably one of your most planned builds at the time.
And I think this is the first time I ever attempted something so large. In Minecraft. I've built bigger things since, but this is the first time I've ever attempted anything this large, especially that was a decorative build, like not a redstone farm or like nothing like that. Because the triple spider spawner is pretty big, but it's not pretty. Like, it's all hidden in the rocks, and you don't have to worry about how it looks and all that kind of stuff. But this was a lot of fun, and there's all kinds of details. There's like sconces in the walls, and you can't see too much of it from the floor, but I find that just knowing it's all there, the design of like the concretes in the walls and the lava flows and stuff, this was just really, really fun to do. The lava flow below and the dig down to that level took forever.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things I've ever had to do is controlling lava flows and making it look like two lava flows coming out of the wall or pooling together in something and then spilling out over the edge. Like, it's just bananas. How long
and the
this
fact
stuff.
that you have this walkway as well that comes out.
Oh yeah, that's right. We can go down there too. Which way is that? I think it's around the corner. This way? Yeah.
Yeah, and bear in mind, like, Blackstone didn't exist, so we've had to have a resource texture for.
Yeah, so this is Nether brick, which is black. Oh, this is not the right way. I don't think.
Vanilla tweaks have it.
Yeah, yeah. I changed it again. Oh, here it is. Here, the lava road. This is how we get down there, I think. Yes. Yeah. It's wide open. It's not finished, but you can get down in
I kind of
here.
like it as being like a back alleyway.
But you can stand here and feel very, very dangerous, like or in danger, I guess. It's.
I'm in creative, and I still feel nervous here.
Yeah, I don't even like. I had to remember that I'm in creative. I had to remember that I'm in creative. But
I accidentally just fell off the edge. that would have been it. That would have been me gone.
Oh, that's funny. But like all kinds of fun details that unfortunately you can't see from the floor above, but it's just, I like them there and I know they're there. And it's also practice. Like for builds later on where I was messing with lava where you can see it, it's cool to have that kind of stuff. Most of our Nether builds, I should let people know right now, look really cool from the inside, but there's not a lot of thought given to the outside looking onward. So this from the outside looks like a bunch of weird chunks all kind of mished together, and it doesn't really look like much from the outside. But the first things that we did in the Nether, I guess we can start with west, with the sandstone, because that's where our desert was, and that's how we kind of decided to do a sandstone desert. But everything is color coded. So south to the dark oak portal where we were above in the overworld is that way. West is our desert. North is our ice spikes and the mesa farther on. And then east is the swamp. So everything was designed in these different rooms. And we'll take a walk down each corridor. But each of these areas was designed based on color coding so that we didn't have to put signs everywhere, which I think was a smart move because it's a lot more natural feeling and stuff. And this was actually revamped. This was just a straight tunnel, but then your stuff is all very like Egyptian based in the Nether.
Based on Stargate and stuff.
Yeah, so you added this room onto what was just a plain old tunnel. And so I felt like I had to up the ante and kind of make sure that it felt grand until we get past your place. And then it goes to just like, functional Nether tunnel.
Yeah, it was interesting though, because I was ripping off a lot of your design and then you started ripping off my design.
Right, yeah.
It all just kind of, we went back and forth.
Which is really fun, and we don't do it as much on the server as we used to, but like these Nether tunnels are fun for me because it was a time when you can really collaborate and you don't have to worry about, you're not terribly concerned about how it looks because it's going to change so dramatically from one person's to the next. Like the idea in the Nether is to clarify where you are, what direction you're going. Am I going to Hannah's place? Am I going to Alastair's place? And just know that if you're in the, the sandstone Egyptian Stargate temple, you're going to Alastair's place. And very clear where you're going. Like it's not a mystery, right?
Yeah.
But you've got more over here. I want to show folks the actual, we won't go through, but I want to show folks the cool Nether build that you've kind of added onto. So like taking the inspiration from what was done on the server, you've got this build. I'll let you go ahead. And I just thought this was really, really cool.
Yeah, so this is based on the Abydos Stargate that's featured in the movie and the pilot to Stargate SG-1 and throughout the series as well. And I built this. I built most of it and then realized I was just like 3 blocks off.
Oh.
and I had to tear it all down and rebuild because like even though the pillars had to be completely redone because it's like 3 blocks.
Oh. That sucks.
It was terrible. I remember Cosmic coming and helping me out with some of the supplies and just poking a head in and stuff. But again, this was the first time I'd done anything at this scale, especially on my own. What is it with these guys standing on top of the portals today?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some like redstone or stone buttons or something to just kind of like spawn proof some of these areas that we just don't think about it, right? Because we haven't really had to bother with it for so long.
There is an area behind this, but you'll want to actually go behind because we're in creative.
We'll
Otherwise
go through
just end up straight through the portal.
Yeah. Oh right, I didn't know this was here. Oh cool.
Yeah.
All glory to the hot dish, lowercase d.
Yeah. So at one point on stream, she asked me to build her a shrine. So this was the shrine.
That's awesome.
And
I like the dish. I like the bowl. Like that's brilliant. That's really funny. That should be merch for her. That's amazing.
And then I have a sarcophagus, which this was originally because we knew that you'd need to wear gold in the Nether. So the idea was that you would go in, it would close up, it would then arm you with gold, then you'd step back out again. It would also heal you because it's a sarcophagus. So
Nice.
that was kind of my, functional Stargate thing. Like behind there was a lot of redstone to get this going, but like I just wear gold pants now, and healing wise, like I've got a healing beacon the second I step through my Stargate. So I'm still trying to think of what else I could do for this, and I've had some ideas, but I'm still trying to figure that out.
Maybe you need to take some inspiration from like Greek mythology and do like an Icarus and give like speed potions or something so that you can fly around in the Nether.
Well, I have those.
Oh, do you? Oh, that's right. They're
you
out
haven't
front.
seen those outside?
No, that's right. They're there. I did know that.
Yeah, there's little alcoves that basically sit outside, and you hit a button, and you get fire resistance, and you get speed.
Nice.
So and then that's what the mini pyramid here is for, is that this is to restock it all.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So you hit this button. Because, again, with it being Egyptian, I just want to have little things hidden away.
Right. And then the speed one's over here. Yeah. Golden boots. I like the golden boots rather than the speed potion because of the yellow. It makes sense.
Yeah. And then the idea is you stand in the alcove, you hit the button. I think it's empty right now. Oh, no, it's not.
There you go.
There you go. And then it hits you. And
That's awesome.
So I managed to get it just to make sure that you'd always get hit properly when you're in that alcove.
Hit that button again so people can see how it works. That's so good. I like the like booby trap sort of moment for it. Well done.
I just thought if I'm doing kind of an Egyptian theme, like you need to have these kind of things because in real Egyptian history, like there wouldn't be any of this. But I mean, movies have just kind of cemented it that you need to have some kind of hidden mechanic.
Pop culture.
Yeah.
So moving on down the line, I continued my Nether adventures by building more community farms. And the next one is actually Mattcast and I worked on the Guardian farm. We have changed the way that this portal works a little bit because at some point, I don't remember what version it was, but Mojang changed the way that portals worked so that you now actually go through facing the correct way, which is great. And I'm going to leave it nighttime just because it's going to look cooler, I think, if we go down at night.
Yeah, I think so. But
you can see the ocean monument has been completely redone. You can see it glowing through the ocean, which is amazing. And I'm really happy with this build. This was one of the bigger builds that is both decorative and redstone. It's not the most efficient because, of course, we didn't drain the entire monument because I just didn't have time. But down this way should be pretty cool. I feel like I'm going to be losing some frames here because of the water and the reflections in the glass. But I'm going to leave shaders on just because this is really going to be cool. Oh, yeah. Wow. This looks awesome. I've not been down here in shaders in a long time.
Yeah, I still remember coming down here when you two were working on this tunnel and just trying to come up with ideas for the floor design.
Yeah, so this was... I don't know where I got the floor design. Probably either something I came up with on my own or probably Pinterest maybe inspired. But in here, we actually have a functional guardian farm. So there's a tank above us where they will spawn when you're far enough away. The AFK platform is actually down the very bottom of the ladders. and they go through the lava, and then they end up on a platform and they die. And then all of their drops are brought up here, where they are kept in these chests. So for sea lanterns and all that kind of stuff, we've got a fair amount of community things for that, and it worked out really, really good because it gave me a chance to build something really big, make it look as cool as I could. The goal was to leave as much of the original ocean monument as I could. So all of these pillars are natural. I think we might have extended them. I think I might have dug down to a specific level because of the farm mechanics. And I think some of these pillars had to be extended by 4 or 5 blocks. But other than that, it's all pretty vanilla. In terms of location.
Here, because normally I don't get to in survival.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, to see the Guardians go. Oh, look, there's one now. So he just got sucked down. So like they spawn in water columns, and eventually they fall through the signs and they just get dropped down. It works great. It's not as efficient as it could be because of course the whole thing is still surrounded by water, but that's part of the aesthetic, right? Yeah. I'm really happy with this gate, with this whole, like, the arches have been redone and changed for color and all that kind of stuff.
It is just phenomenal.
Thanks, man.
I still remember as well when we were sailing past this monument. And bear in mind, like, I was so new to Minecraft, I didn't really know much about anything. I mean, I still remember when you told me about the Nether, and I thought that you were kind of messing with me.
Right.
Like, I'll be a portal to another dimension. Step through, and I've got a ghast screaming at me, and I have no idea what's going on. But I remember when we went past here, and you were like, "Oh, just watch out for the Guardians." I'm like, the what now?
Yeah.
You're like, the Guardians. If you get too close, they'll kill you. And I didn't even know that Guardians were a type of fish. So I'm just trying to picture in my mind what on earth a Guardian could be and why I need to stay away and what are they guarding. It was a very, very worrisome kind of thing. And then actually meeting them was just as terrifying.
Yeah, no, it's not a fun time. I died a lot making this farm. There was a lot of zapping. There was a lot of zapping. And this is a slime chunk too. So even with all this light, you still get slimes will spawn sometimes on the floor. So you can't AFK up here. You have to go down into a safe room because there's slimes that spawn. One of my
learned that the hard way.
Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite touches in the design here is that I actually made fish in the floor design. I love it when you can come up with stuff like this in Minecraft that just looks exactly how you want it to look. It's super subtle. It looks like a geometric pattern, but it's fish.
Yeah. I've never spotted that before.
Oh no?
No.
Yeah, they're fish.
How have I not noticed this? This is so cool. Oh, I love this. Oh, these are neat.
Chef Samuel and all the folks in the chat, thanks so much for the compliments. I'm glad that you guys like this build. It was a lot of fun. But we should probably keep moving, because if we dawdle too long, we'll be here forever. And shaders and my frame rate are not friends in this area. They're okay in the Nether, but
especially with the way the water is against the glass.
Oh yeah, it's very cool, but it's very intense. It's also raining outside. It's like, how much can Minecraft do at one time? Let's find out. Oh, that's better.
Yeah, the portal used to be here, but so not only was it we got turned around, we had to turn it 90 degrees just to get it to come out the right direction. There's a weird 90-degree turn that they made with it. Yeah,
it was very, very, very strange. Because we didn't want to move the portal that was there, because I think Mattcast had already worked on the stairs. So this is just a long tunnel towards our Nether Fortress and a few other things down this way. The first of which is the first Wither Skeleton farm. And this is, I believe, a Tango Tech design. So it's got a cool staircase that leads you down to a little bit of a workroom where people can like change their stuff for smelt things. And then we've got the scary bridge, because I like glass and lava apparently.
Oh, that was, especially early game for me, that was constantly terrifying. Every time there's glass over lava, which, like you just alluded to, you did quite a lot. Oh, my heart would skip a beat, and I would take a deep breath. before going across.
So this is one of those farms that if we were in survival, you just look at the weather skeletons and they would track you to the middle. No jumping, because then the blaze and the other things would actually find you. But inside, it's just a long, long straight shot. It's a big rectangle. You can sort of see it on the map here of what it looks like. And it's pretty effective, actually, you know? Obviously, we're not going to get any weather skeletons coming in right now, but eventually you'd track them, bring them into this area. They'd come up here with their feet, and you can whack them and get their skeletons, or their skulls rather. I don't think there's lots of coal and stone swords, but no skulls. I think they've all been collected.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would take them with you anyway. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I still use it. This is my main place for getting with the skulls.
Oh, really? You don't use the other one?
Yeah.
Oh, the other one might
no.
be broken. The other one might be broken.
I've just always used this one. You'll have to show me the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I've been doing this so long my whole life.
More glass and more lava, because I like giving people heart attacks. And then this is just the long run to like unload and reload the skeletons. So the idea was just like have this long thing. There's nothing else down here.
Yeah. And you just like at one point this was completely open, so you come down here to completely unload all the skeletons, and then you get shot at by ghasts. So I'm glad that this eventually got.
Yeah, I don't think there's an exit. Oh yeah, there is. Okay,
yeah.
So we can get out. All right, cool.
Yeah,
we'll fly over the top of it just to kind of.
Yeah.
But like our Nether builds just don't look like much from the outside. They never have. But we did spawn-proof the fortress, which was a good thing to do. But this is the outside, because again we don't want anything spawning on top of it, so it's just all like the easiest things that you have to slab, and also a big project, but not terribly interesting. Like I remember getting bored doing all of the work for that.
A lot of slabs, just and not even a creative use. It's just a flat mass of slabs.
Yep, and then we've got the desert portal. Because I have a small build there. Oh, I didn't realize that. Is this Cosmic? Who built this?
Oh, yes, that is.
Le Poop Hut. Oh, right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Any poop hut is definitely a Cosmic build.
Definitely a Cosmic build. So this was just something I wanted to do for fun to kind of give a cool spot for our desert. This is our mining desert. So a lot of people were coming and going from this area. So it made sense to have a portal that people could safely come in and out of, with a safe spot on the other side as well. And this is all very utilitarian. Like, it's just concrete maker, bed, you know. This is just meant to be like easy to find if you're lost, and basically just come here, mine sand. As you can see, the place has been stripped, and then head back in the Nether and go about your business. So there's really nothing fancy going on down here.
We used to have just over here, there was a what do you call it? I think for killing Endermen.
Oh, there was like an Enderman farm, yeah.
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 We built that in the Nether.
Yeah. Now that once we get the end sorted, then it wasn't a big deal.
Here I am saying we, as though I had any hand in the Ender.
But yeah. So again, not anything too crazy to see here. But it was a place I ended up spending a lot of time. Obviously, the portals are backwards as well, so we still have that issue, which is a pain when you're in creative.
These here, you put soul soil on the bridge.
Oh yeah, I think it slows you down. Maybe. Yeah, it slows you down if you're not paying attention. But we can go down here because this is going to have some fun builds. This is the blaze farm is down this way, the double blaze farm. Pardon me. So inside the Nether fortress, which is just to our left, is this huge opportunity to have a double blaze farm. And this is a Nembon design that I took inspiration from and kind of made our own to work on the server. More glass, no lava, but there's definitely more glass. But as you can see, if I can I get myself out here? There we go. There is a blaze spawner over here. And then a blaze spawner over here. And this entire middle section is all solid blocks. And the way that it works is the blaze spawn, and then they attempt to path to blocks that are in this chunk, and they go down this trap. And once they're in the trap, they end up inside, which you get to as a player by going down the ladder on the far side here. And then inside, you can use your sword to kill the blaze on the platforms. There's also a squisher that reduces their health by, I think it's 90%. They get squished to the point where they're just one hit, which is really cool. But it's not a super attractive build. It's just meant to be functional. I like using, colors and just concrete blocks to make things look very stark and simple. But it was fun just to kind of like take chaos and create order and drops.
On that note of simple and use of color, I do like that you put this one little gray thing just for where you stand to have both activated.
Yeah, so that's where you stand to activate both. And what's nice about it is that you can see both, so you can stand on it and then like check to make sure that you're bringing in both of those things, right?
Yeah. So this is where I was stood just before you came in, just to make sure that these were all active.
Right. Very, very cool. Just give me 1 second. I've got a raid here that I want to say thank you to. Dr. Potato, thanks very much. I really appreciate you bringing your viewers over. Welcome in. If you're new to the channel, my name is Joel Duggan, and we are doing a server tour of my builds on the Citadel, which is a 4-year-old Minecraft server, the one that I play on all the time. But because there's multiple streamers, we're just going to be covering my builds today, or as much of them as we can get to. And then I don't know if I'll have time to build anything after that. The only thing we're probably not going to tour too heavily is the medieval area, because I've been building in that for a year, and people that have been following me for the last months or weeks have seen a lot of that. So we're focusing on other stuff right now, and then later we'll return to the medieval area to see if there's any time to look at it. But I don't think there's anything else of mine down here, dude. Do you know of anything that's...
No, I mean, there's the like down this way is where we've got the watery place with all the water plants.
Oh, the coral reef?
What's it called?
Yeah.
The coral reef, thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't completely blank.
I don't have any builds down there.
But yeah, you don't have any builds down there. No. But that's where we go to get to it.
So we'll just go back to the hub then, I guess.
Well, we do have the community build just off to the right here.
The community build. What's that?
We did for Hannah. No, well, not that right.
That's not here. No, that's way down.
No. Yeah, that's... Yeah, sorry,
I didn't realize you were ahead of me. Not that right, the other right.
The other right, yes. The right that comes up later.
Yeah, your
not
Newfoundland right.
The late right. The late right.
It's so weird to be in the Nether and looking at ghasts and having them not shoot at you.
Yeah.
Right. So now this is getting back into these interconnected pathways. As more and more people played on the server and started spreading themselves out from Dartmouth Meadows and building in different areas, we felt the need to kind of have these connected pathways that were made of something that could not blow up.
Absolutely. And you had come up with the stairs coming down here to this platform and then going down to the left and the right.
Right, and it just stopped.
And then, yeah, and then Anna Inferno and I built this bridge and tied it up to the other portal up there for the... words are hard. The water farm that we were just at.
Yeah.
The Guardian farm. There we go.
Yeah.
But then down here...
Right, this is the community build for Hannah.
Yeah. So Hannah had been at her portal, just coming out of it, and got shot at by a couple of ghasts who have come to visit today as well. And she just blew up, and all of her stuff blew up as well, and she lost everything. And so she was very upset, and then she kind of pieced out of the game for quite some time after that.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, and because we knew she was going to be coming back, we thought, well, let's build something so that when she comes out of her portal, she's going to be safe, because she was completely outside of the main hub. There was nothing to really enclose her in.
Right.
In the same way that all of ours are. So we kind of worked on this together, and it was great. Like, people just pop in, pop out, and I think every single person did something in here. Yeah,
I mean, it was you, myself, Megan, MacCast. Like, everybody on the server, I think, contributed at some point to it.
Yeah,
you know,
as well.
Someone would come up with a design or part of a design, and then other people would repeat it down the line. Or, easy to guess who made the floor. right?
This is still terrifying in survival.
I was playing with Hannah on the server a couple of days ago, and we came down here to go to her area, and I walked out here forgetting that I had done this and gave myself a heart attack because we were in survival. Like I wasn't flying around giving a tour. Like we were just walking around, and I was just like, I know where I'm going. I built this, and I kind of walked around the corner and went, oh my goodness! I just had a moment of like, I thought I was done. Scrambling for the rockets at my hotbar was not a pleasant experience, but this was a fun build, and this is one of those things where it's just like it's a whole bunch of different block combinations in Minecraft that I feel like the Nether really opens you up. Like you're not really worried about whether it fits in the world, whether it looks good next to someone else's. It's more about just like colors and expression and communicating to people, because this is all based on her storage room. Her storage room is, I was
going to say, yeah,
it's all acacia wood and acacia logs. So you know from going down here that it's Hannah's area, right? Without having to have a big sign.
That's it. We wanted to kind of echo some of her design language.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. So I guess we can go back up here and then meander back up through the south portal, because we've not done anything in here. And I guess one of the things we can do is, where do you want to go from here? Maybe the gold farm?
Yeah, that would probably make sense. This is also the birch portal that Mattcast kind of made.
Mattcast did, yeah.
So on the other side, where it's just very vanilla and just a basic portal, this is all the work that he did here. I think you had a little bit of a helping hand in this as well.
I started it. I think he did the roof. I think I kind of set him up with the bottom, but then didn't know what to do, and he said, hey, can I do the roof? And I said, yeah, sure. But I think I've done I've done some changes, I think, here. But anyway, lots of
to see the outside of the base here.
Yeah, lots of like glass floors and things like that. Cosmic is saying that the second break is coming, so maybe what we'll do is we'll go look at the gold farm and then we'll take a break and then continue on from there. Maybe we'll go to my swamp base after that. That's probably the most logical.
Yeah, and I think also the wither squisher at some point.
Oh yeah, the big one.
A really good build.
The big one. Yeah, that's next to the gold farm. We can actually get there from the gold farm. That's easy. But you can see.
No, it's in there though, isn't it? It's in the hub.
Oh, the wither squisher. Sorry, I know what you mean. Yeah. I got confused. Yeah. We can go. We'll go back through the hub. But you can see the hub doesn't look like much from the outside. It's really kind of just patchwork, but it looks cool inside. I promise you. I guess we can walk it to illustrate. Just how day one Minecraft, this build, we've just never changed it.
Yeah, I thought it was silly just having to go around the old way because it was just so cumbersome and long. It's like, there's a more direct route of doing this. But this is about as much as I could do without, having a heart attack and dying because of all the lava. And it's been aptly nicknamed the Panic Bridge ever since.
Yep.
In fact, there's Cosmic in there as well.
Weirdly and unceremoniously, this is our end portal. With all the work that we've done on the server and all the work that's on the other side of the end portal, the end looks really cool, but it's just stone and a portal. Like we've done very little with it. It's on my to-do list of eventually trying to change this.
But functionally, it helps for protecting against ghasts that are
of course,
shooting at you.
Yeah. So one of the things that's unique about the Citadel is that we do not go up on the roof of the Nether like a lot of multiplayer servers. We just didn't feel the need. It felt kind of, I don't want to say cheaty, but it felt kind of outside of what Minecraft experience I wanted to have. And so when I ran it by everybody on the server, we decided to build the gold farm in the Nether, not on top of the Nether. And so in order to do that efficiently, or as efficiently as you can, you have to find a lava lake. Apparently a ghast has blown some holes in my farm. But you have to find a lava lake that's big enough, and this one is pretty big in order to put the gold farm in the middle. So this is a traditional gold farm. Like, it doesn't really change much as far as its function and design. It's the main XP farm. I don't find our Enderman farm works nearly as quickly as this.
No, and this is... up there with your lava and glass.
Yeah.
This is that design on steroids.
Yeah, and this is YouTube videos. I remember doing thumbnails for this. There's definitely videos for me working on this farm. But it collects all the gold. It smelts the swords into nuggets. It harvests all the rotten flesh. We need to get some clerics down here because we've got a lot of rotten flesh.
Oh, I often empty this out
Oh,
because
do
my
you?
Stargate is my Stargate is powered by rotten flesh,
Oh, there you go. Waste
and I have a
not,
lot of
want not.
clerics. Yeah.
You
Oh,
waste not, want
let's.
not.
I'm gonna turn the sounds down.
Oh,
'Cause
right. Yeah, the what is it? The
friendly creatures.
friendly creatures. Turn that off because the mine carts. So this just is just where all the zombie pig. Oh, sorry, close that in your face. This is where all the zombie pigmen come at you. It's a really cool looking build, especially with shaders. Everything's reflected on the glass. Really, really fun. I don't know. I guess I can try to grab a snowball and see if I don't. In creative, I don't think they'll come at me, but we'll see. Nope.
They won't.
No.
No, you're not a target.
That's fine. It would be too loud anyway. But I really love the color here, the pink and the pink terracotta. We removed the terracotta because at some point the design changed and magma blocks were the ones that we had to use because zombie piglins and piglins were all spawning and it was causing a problem. So we had to replace it all with magma blocks and that took a while. But I think added to the design. I think I like it better now that it's it's magma blocks. But I would not normally build a giant pink donut in the overworld, but for some reason in the Nether, the orange and the pink just seem to go really well together. And this is just a standard sorting system. Like there's nothing too fancy about this. I think it pulls out unstackable items and then it just uses regular sorting to just kind of get the different items into the chests and people can come and grab their gold and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes you get a head down here. I've gotten many.
Oh yeah.
In the block below.
Yep. Yeah. There's an overflow and kind of spits something out and just kind of despawns. And that's the bedrock. So I went down to the bottom of this lava lake and completely emptied it out. Spent a lot of quartz on stairs and the inside for that matter.
So the height of the world, I'm assuming that because the bedrock's still there, never changed in the Nether. It's only in the overworld.
Yes, correct. It's only the overworld in 118 that it just changed. The Nether is still the same. And we didn't change anything about the Nether. Like we didn't reset the Nether or anything like that. So
No.
And we didn't trim any chunks either for 118 because nothing changed. Up there is nothing special. It's just the workroom for the Nether. So I think what we can do is we can head back to the hub, and then maybe that's a good spot to take a break.
Yep. Sounds good. Just fly over.
Yeah, exactly. Probably the fastest way. I'm going to walk through one of the tunnels, and when we get back, I think I'll walk through the south tunnel just to kind of show people, because that's got like some wheat and some glass and some cool stuff in there. I like doing this thing in the Nether where I like glaze over colored terracotta with glass, and it kind of changes the color of it. You know, like white terracotta but pink glass gives it kind of like a peachy look. Or you can do like if you go pink terracotta with gray glass, you can get different looks. And I like the way that the glass floors look with the connected glass tester especially. Same thing here, like, you know, I've got nether wart and nether rack and then red glass, and it looks kind of gross. You know, it looks kind of like rivers of guts. Very nether creepy sort of deal.
This is not the nether wart farm that we spoke of, though.
No, that's in the workroom. And the other thing I like to do is like some of our portals, without having to put signs on it, like this looks like the inn on the bridge because that's the portal that goes to the inn on the bridge. So rather than signs, I thought it would be more fun to just design things and have things look like they lead you to where you're supposed to be going. Like, again, you know, you're going towards the desert if you go that way. The inn on the bridge is that way. And then we find ourselves back here in the main hub. Oh, thanks, Cosmic. I'm glad you liked that portal. That's one of my favorites, too. So, like I said about an hour ago, we're going to take another short break. Gives me a chance to run a couple of ads here on the channel, but also refresh my coffee, which is woefully broken. And when we come back, we'll do some more server tour stuff. Looks like we're going to be able to get to the swamp base, probably the Wither Skeleton Farm briefly, and then the Modern City. And that should wrap up my builds. There's not a heck of a lot more out there, really. Cool.
I think that sounds good.
We'll be back in just a few minutes, folks.
See you soon.
We're back. We're being goofy, but we're back. Welcome back, folks. We are going to head east, I think. I just realized that we have to cover the iron farm as well. But all the tunnels down this way are fully decorated until you get to the end of the hub. Once you remove yourself from the square that is the main hub, everything becomes old school gravel, not gravel, but cobblestone pathways. And then when you get closer to, I guess what we could call my base here on the servitor, because this is my main personal mine, this is my skeleton farm and my witch farm and all this kind of stuff, all in one area in the swamp. Basically focused on the fact that there was a witch farm, or was a witch hut here that I could farm. And so it's very functional. It's just a bunch of really fun geometric designs and things that I wanted to come up with. I think I may have to turn off shaders, but we'll see. So the witch farm is all just water powered. They drop down inside this purple terracotta area, and everything is collected down below. And then the items are brought up the side, and there's a really neat area, but I'll show you the way that it's collected and sorted when we go down there. But it's super fun to see all the items come in and be collected in these chests. And every time I do a different design like this, I try to come up with a different way to collect the items and have them come up in a unique way. So if we go down this ladder here and stop at, I think it's the first one, yeah. So here, this is where the witch drops come in. And that's just a standard drop. There's nothing fancy about it. But everything gets sorted into these color-coded item sorters, and then they're dropped into these very tight water streams, which are actually all connected. And it's not an easy thing to do to get your 3 columns of water all next to each other. And so
I didn't know you could do that.
yeah, so what I'm using trapdoors, which you can waterlog. And because it's a full waterlogged block, and I don't need these things to race to the top, there's just 2 bubble columns, which is just enough to get the items some momentum. And so the trapdoors keep them in their lane. The momentum from the bubble column sends them up to the top, and then they get sorted at the top with there's no sorter up here. It's just a water stream. So if you look up here, it's just a simple water stream that comes in from over here, and there's more trapdoors to keep it separate. It's not perfect, but it works good enough that I think, hey, I don't get very many false positives. I don't end up with like sticks in the wrong container or sugar in the wrong container. It all seems to work pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with that. And this is the central storage for the entire farm, because my main mine, which is down there, is all cleared out. I've got a skeleton farm over to the right, and we've got a slime farm over that way, and the slime drops come up here through another waterway. I like my log flumes, apparently. And they all get collected in these chests here. And then over here, we've got the bulk storage from the mine, which below is a place where you can dump your mined materials. And this is all just overflow item storage. Pixelriffs and I were talking about this on the latest episode of the Spawn Chunks. We were talking about where we put our big bulk storage items and mines and stuff like that, and our storage systems. And so this is where I keep mine. I don't sort everything, but I sort all the stuff that you just get a metric ton of, and I don't want to have to put it in chests of my own. So when you say Joel is the richest person on the server, yes, this is what people mean when they say that I've got a lot of stuff.
I feel like this had a little bit more diamond in it at one point as well.
Oh, probably, yeah. I probably had to come back. When netherite became a thing, I started to outfit myself in more stuff, I think. So
I still love how it's kind of like, there's all the community mines, but this one is mine.
Yeah. This is my stuff. This is not stuff I share with. So if we go down to the mine, which is going to be hard to do in creative, but it is a drop. You can just. It's not this one though. Oh yes, it is.
This is the one that killed me.
Yeah. So there used to be a water drop here, but now it's just vines that catch you at the bottom.
I did something wrong with the vines. I think it's because I had my elytra and I activated it, and I just plummeted and just hit the ground.
You splat at the bottom. So this is just the fast way up and the fast way down to get down into the big mine. I am going to have to turn off my shaders here, unfortunately. There's just too much going on in the area, and it's a little bit too much. But that's fine. It's a pretty standard mine. But the reason we're down here is because the slime farm, which I think people would probably be interested in seeing, is going to be over this way. Yeah, the killing chamber for the slime farm is up over here.
Glow squid just appearing.
Yeah, glow squid hanging out. So with the slime, again, I wanted to do something interesting and cool with killing them. It looks like we're losing slime. It looks like they're dying before they get all the way up to the top. But essentially what was happening here is that the slimes in the farm spawn in. They go into the water system, which we can kind of get into down here. This is a huge slime farm. It's like 4 chunks or something like that. So 2 chunks here, and then 2 chunks over here. The giant L.
Whoa. I never saw this.
Have you not been in here? This is why I have so much slime. So the slime
explains a lot.
Yeah, when you're in the area and you're loading the slime farm, the witch farm. You're not loading the skeleton farm because it's a spawner. But if you're in the area and you're loading this, then slimes are spawning constantly. They're trying to attack the iron golems. They fall down into the water streams, and it doesn't matter what size they are. They all kind of get pushed along. And eventually I used this old etho method of getting the signs, using the signs to get the slimes to come up. And as they're big slimes, they get slowly cut down to size until they're little. And when they're little, they fall off the edge and they die from the height because they only have like 1 or 2 hearts. and then those slimes are collected. They make a chime, so they make like a fun little ding when they go through. And then this is the elevator that sends everything up to the top. And I collect it in the storage system up top.
That's cool. So basically, every time we come to visit you here, you get richer.
Yeah, pretty much. Andreas Fall, thanks very much for the 100 bits. Really appreciate that. Welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. There is nothing else down here except for the zombie spawner, but that we can get to that from the top. So I love having a bubble elevator in here. It made life so much easier than climbing up and down.
Imagine. Oh, whoops! Oh, hang on.
Would you fall down again? You fell down the hole.
It's like they're right next to each other.
Yeah, I've done that before too. So like I said, the witch farm is in this weird little dome. I made another weird little dome for the storage unit, and then a darker dome that has an open ceiling for no good reason other than I didn't want to make another dome in the middle. And I was just experimenting with like green terracotta and green glass. I think it's blue terracotta and purple glass. Even though blue is really purple in Minecraft, the names drive me nuts. And then brown glass and green terracotta really kind of make a cool muddy looking feel. So I was just kind of experimenting with all that kind of stuff. So you
Especially
can,
after the World of Color update, you were really into experimenting with terracotta.
yeah, I really liked the color stuff. It really was a lot of fun. The zombie spawner is very seldom used. It was originally going to be a place to like harvest flesh and trade it with villagers, but it just wasn't that useful in the long run. We didn't really need to use it. So there's a zombie spawner down there somewhere, and you can spawn them in and change the levers and change the things to kill or auto kill or loot for XP and all that kind of stuff. And my villagers kept on dying because of the light levels. It would be much easier to do this now that we have this like the right light levels in here, but it's just a fun little area. And you can see like there's a zombie just died right there.
The thing I love is that this is now an antique.
Oh yeah, the OG fish farm. The auto fish farm where there's still tons of bows and books. I still come here for enchanted books. And the fact that I can make bows whenever I want. I AFK'd here once for 4 hours and have never done since because I got so much stuff. Like it just, I felt dirty after using it. I was like, that's too easy. I'm not going to do that again.
See, richest man on the server.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the fact that you can get, like, you have to put in a lot of work to build the stuff first, but then after that, you don't have to do anything other than just stand there and you just get rich.
Yeah. There are some benefits to that. I like the idea of those farms that require an awful lot of work, like the Wither Skeleton farm we're going to go see. Like that I think is a lot of work, but worth it in the end. And
that's it. It's the trade-off. If there was something that just got you all these resources with little to no effort, there's almost no point. But the fact that there's a lot of time and skill investment to begin with is what makes it okay.
So you can get to this on foot by going through the gold farm, but I use Elytra usually, and it's a blind leap of faith. You just have to fly straight off the edge of this pier, and eventually the Nether Fortress and the Nether Fortress farm will come into view. This is another Nembon design. It is currently not working, but everybody in the server has at least one beacon, so no one's really needed to use it since, so I haven't fixed it. But there are flying machines that sweep the bad guys into the trenches. They are eventually put down into this other flying machine contraption that squishes them all into one central column. And that then goes down into a place where you can collect them. I had to empty out this entire lake of lava. I had to do all the redstone for it. We're going to go down inside so we can take a closer look. But these are, I think, the last Let's Play videos that I did on my proper YouTube channel because I just ran out of time. I just didn't have the time resources to put in to do like proper Let's Plays.
Cosmic says not everyone on the server has beacons.
Oh, I see. I see. I do want to come back and fix this.
Yeah, because I've never even been able to use this one.
No.
I wasn't even sure how to use it, and then you said it was broken anyway.
Yeah.
But when this was operational, was this more effective than the other one then?
Oh, by far. Yeah. Well, I think there's probably like a half dozen skulls in the thing below.
Oh, really?
Yeah, easily. I'm trying to put on shaders just briefly so we can see what this looks like with shaders. Just because there's so much lava, it looks really cool.
Cosmic's impressed by your use of blast furnaces in here.
Did you turn it on? No.
No, I haven't touched anything.
Oh, it's the pigmen that, yeah. That's the other thing too, is that there are some pigmen that sometimes spawn in here that break things. Yeah, because you can't use water in the Nether, I've got like auto pushers that push items around. And these are, again, part of Nembon's design. I've taken the design and moved it to make it my own, but essentially it's all the way that it's supposed to be. But if we go down to the bottom, we'll see the storage system, and the decor down here is really cool.
I love it.
Thanks. Yeah. So this was really fun to do. So we've got those, like, this is something that people see all the time at this level if they come down here. And I learned how to do all this kind of stuff because of all the work that I did on the Nether Hub, doing the lava flows and all that. So we've got campfires under the lava making the steam. I've got these pipes coming in from the walls that are filling up the cisterns of lava. So the idea is that this whole thing is supposed to look like it's powered by lava. So you've got these glass sort of like cables that are connecting the farm.
Powered by lava. You're speaking my language here, my friend.
But I don't know how many skulls we have. Let's find out. There are 23 wither skulls in that chest right there.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Now bones and stuff like that, I don't know how much. Yeah, not a lot of coal. Any of the blaze rods are being shipped somewhere else. There's another collection point for those. But it's one of those things where I just got so frustrated trying to rebuild the flying machines that I just never came back to finish it up. And it might be better now with like loading and unloading chunks and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. It's hard to get the motivation to go back and build something that you've done like 4 or 5 times already. But yeah, it's also, I don't know. I guess it's part of it is that I just don't need it anymore. Like I don't need to be here, or I don't need the drops from it. So it was an excellent lesson in how to build a complicated farm like this, and totally worth it if you're going to do it on a server where you don't have the access to this kind of stuff. But a lot of fun.
I like that you've got signs that say 24 blocks from farm and 32 blocks from farm. So this is obviously when you're planning out distance.
Yeah, like where it was loaded, where it wasn't loaded, like all that kind of stuff. So because you have to make sure that you've turned it off before you fly away, because then the flying machines break and you have to rebuild them. And like I don't even remember how to rebuild them. Like it's a real pain in the butt. So and the Nether looks so dark because it's all covered in nether brick slabs. Most of and not the entire area has been slabbed, which helps with the spawning in the farm. It's not perfect. There are caverns places, I'm sure, that have, places for spawning, but it's good enough for 6 people on the server. Like 23 wither skeletons are sitting in there. Obviously, it's not a really high demand, right?
Yeah. I probably would have tried going and grabbing some. There's been some times I've spent a long time in the other one just trying to get skulls.
Yeah. Yeah. By all means, like just grab yourself some wither skeletons and make yourself a beacon, especially with some of the big projects that we're all planning with 118. Like I feel like beacons is something that everybody on the server should have.
Yeah, Cosmic should definitely kind of invest in that. So up here is something that I've always thought is one of the most impressive things in the Nether. Oh, if I can get up.
I'll let you go first again.
Although it looks like it's broken.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was that used it last, but there is supposed to be a minecart up here on the top. So we have this was generated in 112 because our server is so old. So there is a 3x3 area here in the Nether where you can generate the wither, and it spawns and its head is stuck inside the block and it can't see you. It takes suffocation damage while it's dying. So you can basically come up to it and whack it with a sword, or just wait for it to die. And then the nether star that it drops just ends up in the chest. But you use 25 minecarts on a rail before you set it up, and it's just a very easy way. We call it cheesing the wither or squishing the wither. It's not a new practice, but I wanted to make something cool out of it. So we've got, again, glass floor, the fog effect with multiple layers of glass, and a rib cage made out of quartz, which I think is really effective.
Yeah, the ribcage design is just brilliant. And it's a lot of soul sand just around the edge as well.
Oh, a lot,
really is cool.
Yeah, there's a lot. And the new design, when they updated the textures to the new soul sand, it really made this place look cool and creepy, right? The only thing that would be better would be, you know how sometimes you can see souls like escaping the soul sand? It happens a little bit in the skulk, like in the snapshot stuff. I wish that there was a way similar to how campfires have particles, like smoke particles come out of them. If you put a fire underneath a soul sand block, it would be so cool if blue souls would come out of it constantly, because you could totally use that to decorate your builds, right?
Yeah, well, I've got a mod pack where it will actually have little wisps of them.
Oh, cool.
So you get these little,
Nice.
And it has fireflies and a couple of other things as well. But yeah, you do, when you've got soul sand, it'll have little souls just flying around.
Nice. That's cool.
And I think it has to be the top of the block has to be visible, because I'm not seeing any in here.
Oh no, that's all. It's all side block stuff. And I mean, true to form, there's lava to decorate and light the place, make it feel like it's a finished build. And there's a quick exit too, because I don't like the ladder. So there's a quick vine drop here that drops you back into the nether, and then you can just kind of court around and go in here. I think the only thing left in this area is going to be walking back down through these corridors and then checking out the iron farm, I think so, yeah, because you've got this is the nether workroom. Yeah, here's the little manual netherwort farm that we built, because the other one was too big and too much of a pain in the butt to replant. And then we've got like functional stuff like silos, smelter powered by blaze rods from the blaze farm that we saw earlier, silo for nether rack, like just basic stuff that you need in the nether that's just meant to be like accessible to everyone on the server and near the hub if you need it. And then each tunnel, like I said, is decorated in a different way. So this one is the ice tunnel that goes north, and then we've got it connects to the guardian farm and the desert portal. So everything kind of like transitions to the colors that you'd expect if you're heading east or west or north or south. Animal,
this as well.
Sorry, Alastair. Animal, thanks very much for the raid. Really appreciate it. Welcome in, folks. I hope you had a good time with Animal on their stream. If you're new to my stream, my name is Joel Duggan, and we're doing a tour here on the Citadel server of most of my builds. We're glazing over a couple of other people's builds because they are like alongside, but there's so many other streamers on the server, I didn't want to cannibalize a potential stream tour that they might want to do, including Alastair, who's kind enough to do this tour with me. So make sure you're following both me and AlastairMcFly to get more views of the server. We're going to take a look at the iron farm now and the moss farm. And if you've been following me for a while, you've probably watched me build the moss farm, because that's recent. That's within the last year. And it's nighttime, so I can sleep. Oh, hold on. I did it in time. Sweet. The moss farm is going to look wicked at night. That's why I didn't want to do that. Because of all those shroom lights in it, it looks really cool.
Right, yeah. And it's not like we're going to have creepers come and burn this down again.
No, it's not going to be a surprise attack. But this is one of the coolest things about the moss farm, is how much it glows at night. And I tried to use blocks that complemented things like the lava that were required for the build. So this actually builds stone and then pushes it out into the middle, and then bone meal that powers from its own moss is created via compost. Bone meal's the stone, or bone meal's the moss, which turns the stone into moss, and then the moss is broken by the conveyor belts. Like, it's just ridiculous. I'm actually I think.
Do we want to just turn it on?
Yeah. Is there a
second?
switch back here? Where's the switch? Oh no,
There was a switch.
No, it's way back. It's back inside. Hold on. People, you can stay out here to let me know when it's on, because I put the switch. I think I connected it via a very long cable. I want to say. Oh gosh, where's the power button? It's here somewhere. I think this might be it.
Not doing anything yet. Oh no, it's going. It's
going now?
Yep,
Okay, good.
It's
yeah.
on. Yeah, it's on.
I had it hidden way in the back. But it produces an absolutely just metric ton of stuff. You see all the moss blocks coming in like crazy here through
It's
the
like
water
a
stream.
lifetime supply in 10 seconds.
Yeah, like it just keeps going and going and going. Very, very cool. And you don't have to supply it with bone meal because it supplies its own bone meal. And everything is collected via water channel through here. And it all slides down these blocks, I think. Yeah, there we go. I'm surprised I'm not seeing more moss. I'm worried that things are getting clogged somehow. Oh no, there we go. I feel like they might be getting stuck somehow. Oh, I remember now. I've got cobwebs in here. So it takes a while for it to kind of pick up. That's what it is. I went up there and in a second I got 11 moss and then 3 or 4 of everything else. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
definitely a lot of it outside here.
Yeah, the water stream is sliding things into the honey blocks, and then the honey blocks are slowly lowering things down for no other reason other than it looks cool, and I thought it would be fun. But there's an absolute ton of stuff. I don't have a very good switch for it though. The on-off button is kind of hidden. I'm not sure why I put this all the way back here.
One thing that's got me very happy is knowing that the iron farm is still working.
Yes. Yeah, we fixed that a number of times. Any of the overflow, because this is kind of slow for this, is actually collected over here in multiple composters and turned into bone meal. So the way that I set this up, because I mentioned earlier that my my bone meal on the server is kind of like my thing. So the moss farm is a server farm, but then the bone meal part is mine. That's my fee for setting this up for everybody, is that I want all the bone meal. I never want to have to worry about bone meal ever again. So
again, by us being here, we are making Joel rich.
Yeah, this is in the spawn chunks. We should mention that. So this is, if this was running all the time, then it would be running all the time, no matter who's on the server. So this was a really fun thing to set up. I really enjoyed this build. It's an Il Mango design, but I kind of like tweaked it and made it look pretty for our server. I also reduced it. It was like twice the size and twice as fast, and like his was making an absolute ton of stuff, and we just don't need it. I mean, I reduced the efficiency, and you see how much stuff comes out of this in just minutes, right? I'm gonna sleep so we can get a good look at the iron farm,
which has gone through many revisions, and once burnt down. So again, before we decided to turn off FireTech, we were awoken to a message from Mattcast where he was stood right around here, and it was just a screenshot of the entire thing on fire.
Yeah.
And it was just, I think he just sent the message help.
Right. No explanation, nothing. Just all of a sudden everything's on fire. It was a bizarre thing to witness. But I think too that I had set it up knowing that I was using lava in a spot where there was going to be a lot of wood, but because of the glass and because of the way we had things sorted out, it didn't have a problem. But when he was blown up by a creeper, he broke the glass and the lava spilled out and then just lit things on fire, and then everything just went up in seconds because it's wood and leaves.
All the villagers as well.
Yeah, the villagers died. And this is an old school iron farm. You can see all the doors on the outside. This is what used to be needed to create a village. But now, of course, it's been fixed by Alastair. Alastair was the one that came and decided that he wanted to fix it. with the zombies that are scaring the villagers that are on the beds, and so they summon the golems. The golems get turned into slag down below, and we just collect all the iron on the inside.
Yep. It was not easy getting Scary Steve, but in fact, Scary Steve is a zombie villager because one of the zombies that I originally was using ended up attacking the villagers and turned them.
Yeah.
So this was actually one of the villagers initially intended for the farm.
Yeah. It works great now, though. I've not had to worry about iron for a very long time.
No. It's there's been a few revisions we've had to do where suddenly villagers were suffocating and dying every time they got out of bed. It's a very unpleasant experience when you wake up first thing. But yeah, all working great now. And over here...
Yes, we've got spawn, too.
Sure enough. Yeah.
I'm going to walk it just so that people can see the pathway. So if you were to join the server, like when I invite a new friend to join the server, this is what we've designed around spawn. It's nothing fancy, but it's a nice place for people to feel safe and for them to come in and be able to get a bunch of stuff. So there's usually a bunch of blocks and some torches and things getting people ready to go. We've got ender pearls here that come in from the nether. They're actually transported through the end portal in the nether. They drop into spawn here, are caught by this water stream, and then they come down this natural waterfall and end up in the chest down here. And so people can get ender pearls. They can get, usually there's food and coal and wood and stuff like that. But we haven't had anybody join the server in a long time, so this hasn't been refreshed, obviously. It's still pretty empty.
Absolutely. But, I mean, this is very useful. Especially as, like, I remember before this was built, you just had a cobblestone block with a torch on it. Was basically how you kind of went, this is the way you go.
Oh yeah, there was no path. There was no actual pathway. It wasn't designed. Every once in a while I find this very chill to do, like you just kind of get some planks, get some logs and just kind of make a dirt path or whatever. And I find it's a nice way to kind of direct traffic or for people that are not familiar with the server, instead of saying go down here and turn west at the valley, just like follow the path. Just get on the path.
Yeah.
Walk it, and you're good,
Because the other thing is when we die, we've now got the portal by the iron farm, so it's a lot easier to get back to somewhere when you do die.
Yeah, of course. No worries, Andreas. Thanks for being here. Having a fantastic day. And thanks again for all the people. Yeah, this is my rope bridge. This is a fun little design. I like this a lot.
So you were thanking people.
That's fine. I wanted to. It's one of those streams where like there's so much going on. You got to be in three places at once. But yeah, thanks for the folks that are here and hanging out. I know I can't always engage with the chat as much, but it's a lot to cover in a single stream to get all of my builds in. But this is the entrance into Dartmouth Meadows. So we've come kind of full circle from leaving the Dartmouth Meadows in the Nether portal to coming through here, going behind the waterfall, because why not? And then entering into Dartmouth Meadows, and we're back.
Just trying to think if there's anything else that we've kind of missed.
I don't think so.
Wizard Tower inside.
Oh, but that's not mine.
The Nether.
Yeah, that's fine. We can move on.
Did you do the brewery in there?
Nope.
Or was that all Matcast as well?
No, that's Matcast.
Oh, okay.
It's all Matcast. I guess the next place to go is either the end or the Modern City.
I think Modern City.
Modern City, probably a good idea. Yeah. So back to the Nether, I guess, to go through the portal.
Yep.
Oop! I went the wrong way. Reading chat, thinking I'm on autopilot. Modern City is this way. So one of the things that we decided to adopt on the server is fast travel, and we have implemented command blocks at what we're calling the World Hub, which doesn't look too fancy right now, but it allows us to travel like 10,000 blocks in any one direction and keeps things separate. So the medieval area is 10,000 blocks to the northeast, and we're not 10,000 blocks to the Modern City, but we're about 4,000 blocks away. But it just means that we can have a themed area where people can build skyscrapers and roads and things like that, and not have it be next to like a whatchamacallit, like a castle or a tower or a redstone farm or whatever. The whole idea is that you're meant to be in a modern city. And so you arrive in the not the villager center, the visitor center, which has a map of the city. Now, this is all very much a work in progress because this is a huge area. And I took forever and only built like one building, which we are standing underneath right now. And it's not even done, I don't think. The outside might be, but the inside certainly isn't. But we've got this really cool skyscraper here. We got another building over here. And you can kind of see the aesthetic we're going for as we're slowly building things up. I unfortunately am going to have to reduce my shaders here just so that I don't have quite as much lag going on. But I think a lot of people probably play without shaders anyway, so this will look like your own Minecraft in terms of like what blocks I've used and how it looks. It looks a lot better with shaders, I'll give you that. I like the fact that the street lights look cool with shaders is one of my favorite things. But it all started with the block bank, which is again a Lego build, actually, to go back to what you were saying, Alastair, about builds inspired by different Lego sets. So this is like the brick bank from Lego, which is one of the original sets that inspired this whole area. Was like, I wanted to build a Lego city. Lego cities are expensive, so you know what's not expensive? Minecraft. So let's build a city in Minecraft. And I mean, I very quickly got overwhelmed by the size of this place, by how much work it was going to be. But the block bank was one of the first things that I did, and I'm really, really happy with it. It even has like a green wall inside. It's lit up like crazy because, again, back when we needed level 7 or 8 or above to work and have like spawn proof builds and stuff like that. But there were villagers in here. The idea was that they were going to be masons so that you can come to the block bank and trade with the masons for the blocks that you wanted to build with, because we envisioned using a lot of quartz in the modern city. Right now there's actually a deposit box, so that goes into the storage system. There's a little water flume down here, which I did not mean to fall in, but we'll go down and take a look at that in a second. But what this area is a community area where people can come and build whatever modern build they want. There are, we'll go outside briefly. There are color-coded plots. So it's all divided into blocks. People can say, hey, I want to build on the orange block or the pink block or the blue block or whatever, and then claim a spot and build. And again, it's just that we're a fairly young server, and these are big projects, so there's only a few in here right now. But eventually, this is going to look super cool.
Mm. And we had we got this as like the main city area, but as we go off, there's like an old town and other things that we kind of had planned.
Yeah, like I'll bring up the Zero's mini map, and you can kind of see here to, I guess it's the southeast. That's where the old town is going to be. You can sort of see where a road is going to connect to it. And then over here to the west, we've got like places where we're going to build in the woods and have like maybe fancy mansions and things like that. But right now it's just like the downtown core, the park. I want to show off Cosmic's Park. That's going to be super cool.
And the squid farm?
Yeah, that's the new squid farm. So the new squid farm is actually in a river. So it works as it should. But it all gets emptied into the storage system underneath the block bank. And so that's the function of the block bank. It looks cool on the corner, but as far as building in the area, it is the place where folks can go and get blocks. It's all community storage. So there's all the kind of blocks that you could ever need, with shulker blocks for quick, removal. So if you need stone or grass or dirt, whatever you need to empty your inventory, you can do that all upstairs at the block bank deposit box. And those shulker boxes are broken and they're brought down in here. And if they're a shulker box, then they're emptied into here and they're auto emptied until there's nothing in them. And if they're just items, then the items flow into here and they're spit out at double speed, and they enter in the water stream, and that goes around the entire storage system and then dumps into the respective filters. So we've got, oops, I don't want to go upstairs. We've got the woods, we've got sand and gravel, we've got cobblestone, more grass and dirt, all the different stones, like all the things that you end up with, just tons of bulk items when you're building a big project like this. And this is probably one of my favorite redstone builds that I've done. I just really like how it fits the modern style. It's very functional, but it feels like a bank basement. Like it feels like a vault, right?
Yeah, and it's easy just to get to everything as well. Like you're saying, in terms of functionality and stuff, it's just simple to use.
Yeah, I wanted it to be super functional. I wanted it to be like it filters out like your coal ore and your iron, and it smelts stuff. So like you can do super smelting really easily, and if you need a lot of glass, you're working in a modern city. It becomes a great way to work in the area. And it has like an AFK room if you need to walk away from the computer. And there's a separate exit too. You can go out into the alleyway, which is now nighttime, so it's gonna be a little bit creepy out here. But there's even dumpsters. Like I've just had a lot of fun trying to figure out how to do these kind of builds with Minecraft blocks. It's not as easy. Medieval is way easier than doing stuff like this. But I want to walk around the front because I want to show people the cafe as well. And a lot of these builds are not completely finished because obviously there's meant to be buildings right up against them. So like, why are you going to decorate one wall when another building is going to be right next to it?
With you saying about the lighting, I remember that one of the plans that we had was just to deliberately have some of the interior of the building completely pitch black so that they become more desirable spawning spaces.
Oh yeah.
And now that the lighting has changed, and it's less of a thing.
This isn't as much of a problem, but yeah, but in survival at nighttime, this is a mob farm. Like the entire road is just like riffraff everywhere. But there are spaces inside this building. I mean, the building doesn't even have rooms in it just yet, but eventually we're going to be putting in dark spaces that'll help with all that kind of stuff. And we can turn them into farms and things like that. But along the street here, we've got this multi-use. So I designed this building like many of the buildings that we see around here in Halifax, actually, Alastair, where the bottom floor is like retail. And this is not new. This happens all over the world. But the bottom floor is retail with a bunch of different shops. And then the top floors are all apartments. And that's where people could come that are on the server to live and, you know, have a home base that's theirs, and then have the block bank to use for resources, be able to build in the area, have a place to sleep, call your own, that kind of stuff. And it's just kind of a fun way to do that kind of stuff. But I'm really happy with this cafe. I like the cup design for the sign. Again, ideas you get from Lego, right? Like rather than saying cafe, they put like a giant coffee mug on it, and it does the trick, right?
So that was basically something you just translated from a Lego build?
No, I got the idea from a Lego build, the kind of stuff that they do, but I came up with that on my own. Like,
nice.
Like a Lego build would have like a flower over a flower shop instead of the word flower. It would just be like a giant blossom, you know, to indicate that it's a flower shop. So I kind of took that idea and ran with it. But the inside here is really cool because I used the tables and chairs data pack from Chuck Chuck, and also some terracotta and the armor stand data pack from that they have on Hermitcraft, and just added those extra details that you can't get in vanilla Minecraft, and just added a few things that kind of sell it as a cafe. There's still a lot of Minecraft stuff in here, like a brewing stand and a powered or an unpowered detector rail for the element on the stove. But I really feel like this worked out well.
I love this POS thing where it's just a slab at an angle.
Yeah.
These angles aren't something you tend to get in Minecraft.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's just, it's on an armor stand. Like if it's just an armor stand holding it at a specific angle, right? You just use the armor stand book to maneuver it around, and it's just a button. It's nothing too crazy. It's not anything special. It's not a mod. It's just the data pack for the armor stand, which I think is pretty commonplace now on servers, just because it's so much fun to be able to do that kind of stuff. Some of these storefronts are empty. Obviously, Cosmic has been here and built herself a flower shop, which is very modern. It's very, very chic. I get the feeling that the flowers in here are very expensive.
More than likely. This is how she gets rich.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, if you need flowers in the server, you know who to talk to. Another blank storefront. No one has claimed that one just yet. That's the visitor center that we came into. And then this is one of my favorite things around here. Both Cosmic and I kind of combine our brains to do this. I think I did. Cosmic, you're in the chat. I did the path, I think, and then you were in charge of all the plants. I'm pretty sure this is all Cosmic's flowers stuff. I maybe did a custom tree here and there, but I'm pretty sure Cosmic did all the flowers.
I really like this. I even love just down to the way that you've got the striped lawns.
Yeah, which I think is now, yeah, moss block. She's updated it with the new moss blocks because you can, previously we had to use powdered concrete and you couldn't put flowers on it. But now you can put flowers on the moss blocks. So
nice.
it means that the lawn doesn't look so empty, which is super nice. Cosmic is saying, of course you did the path. Nice. Margrius 40K with the Prime sub. Thanks ever so much. I think that might be the first sub of today. Really appreciate that. If you want to, you can connect your Discord and your Twitch and join us in the Discord. And we are currently sitting at 165 subs towards 200 subs. This tour is actually a result of 200 subs in December. And in February, if we hit 200 subs, I'm going to do a creative stream where we're going to doing questions and answers from the chat about how I go about approaching builds like this. Like, you know, what's my thought process on approaching these kind of builds, block palettes, shape design, that kind of stuff. Have you been into the foyer? You've been into the foyer of this since it's been finished, right?
I hadn't seen this.
Oh, the waterfall, the green wall?
Yeah.
I'm kind of obsessed with green walls in architecture. I really like them.
It looks great.
Thanks. Yeah, it adds a lot. I think my favorite thing in here is the chandeliers, like the hanging end rods. My custom resource pack has removed the bottom from the end rod, so it's just an end rod. There's no little platform on it. So they just kind of.
I've got one it's grey rather than the
purple
that you normally get for the end. But the grey, it still looks great. I'm looking at your stream and looking at what I'm seeing, and it works in both ways.
I find that's something I try to do, knowing that I have a couple of custom resource packs where, like, I think about the vanilla block and say, okay, well, I want this to look better with my resource pack, but I don't want it to look completely broken if I do it the other way around, right? So that's been kind of something I focus on. And then, of course, we've got water elevators that go to various floors, as well as the top floor. I don't remember which one goes to which. Do you?
I
want to say the back right goes all the way to the roof.
Not this one. It's not the one I just went to.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait. Oh.
Where are you?
Oh, I thought I was going down. I'm now going up to the top.
Up to the top. I'm going to go with back left. I think this is the concrete farm. Oh, I got caught. I see what it was. Yeah, there's a design flaw where you kind of hit your head on the way up. I think this is the concrete maker. Or maybe this is the roof. No, this is the roof. Okay, so I went all the way up to the roof. Between the water elevators, we just decided that the technology in this modern city is that water elevators are a thing. Like transporting in Star Trek. We've just accepted that this is how this works. And then to get down, same difference. We just accept the fact that gravity is not something that will kill you, and you'll just get caught on the vines and end up being very, very safe. I don't remember which is which.
Pretty sure I just hit warp 2 on the way down.
break the space-time continuum. Oh, this just goes to the second floor. I think this was for like apartments and stuff. I don't know who's got this in here. I don't remember whether I decorated this or not. But the apartments are pretty much empty. This, I believe, is the concrete maker. I hope. Yes. Okay. So this is the concrete maker that I won't turn on because it'll probably break. But we have it's a TNT powered concrete maker. There's a way to get up here. Oh, it's got TNT in it. So this will shoot out TNT and blow up the concrete. And then it's supposed to all be collected, but I think I have to go down. I don't know how to get down here. There was a way to go down and check on this, but I don't remember how. It's been so long. I don't remember how to do it. But you can... Sorry, go ahead.
Sometimes some of the most depressing stuff is spending ages on a redstone contraption, you come back to it after a few months and you're like, how does this work again?
Yeah. I just can't figure out how to get back in here, but I just did the creative thing. There is a survival way to get in here. I just don't know what it is. It's probably elytra and flying through the giant hole in the walls. That's likely how I do it. But this all has to be blast proof. It collects the concrete and then shoots it back up into the chests. But when you're dealing with this much concrete in a city build, you absolutely need a massive concrete maker in order to make it possible. And wow, yeah, this building is very much not finished. I thought it was more complete than what it is.
Yeah, me too. I think it's because this one was fairly complete.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably what it is. Because I do know that I decorated the penthouse up here. Did I take the first floor or the second floor? I took the one with the barbecue. So I got the penthouse view on this one. And this is where I've got the interiors decorated and stuff like that with carpets and paintings and all this kind of stuff. I do have a custom texture pack for my paintings as well. And they're actually real life paintings from my friend Brittany Glenwright. Brittany Glenwright Art on Instagram for people that are wondering. They're pixelated, but she does really, really cool work. And so if you want to see some cool paintings, then you can check out her work. I'm going to go sleep in a bed so we can get daytime. Or do we want nighttime in the city?
Might as well.
Yeah, okay. We'll leave it nighttime.
I really love this that you did here as well.
Oh, the mosaic, yeah.
This took you a long time to design.
I even had to do some of it off stream because it was just racking my brain trying to figure out how to do the compass rose and get the colors to look right and have it do the kind of design that I wanted, but really fun to do and really rewarding. I think it really helps the city feel like it has a purpose, you know, like it's definitely, I mean, it's a waterfront town, right? So there's a big wharf and a dock that goes the whole length of the waterfront, and there's going to be more stuff over here. I think we've got plans for like restaurants and stuff like that. So it's going to be a really cool once it gets going.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a ferry terminal over this direction.
Yes, because if you look over in the distance, there's like islands, and that would go to, I believe, Old Town, right? Like that was the plan.
Yeah. And just on a map, like whenever you have the maps there, like in the visitor center, it just looks great for the for that mosaic on the.
Oh yeah, it really came out well. I haven't mentioned this. I keep on looking at it. There's the helicopter pad.
Yeah.
So even though Alastair and I are admins on the server, not everyone can switch into creative when they need to take screenshots. So what we designed was a helicopter pad that will send you into, I think it's spectator? I don't remember. No, it's creative mode.
It is in creative because you can't switch back to survival if you're in spectator.
Right. So the idea with the modern city, it's really difficult to take screenshots or really difficult to kind of get an idea as to what you're doing. So the idea here is that you hit a button, you get in a helicopter, giant air quotes, and then you can fly around and look at what you've been doing in the modern city. And then when you're done, we just work on the honor system that people will go back and hit the button and remove themselves from creative mode again, and then go about their business here in the modern city. But being here and flying around makes me want to get back here and build sometime. I might take a break from the medieval city sometime in the near future and come back here.
That'd be cool.
Maybe finish this building. I feel terrible that it's so much of a skeleton, but it is. It's massive. Like I know the medieval city that I'm working on is big, but you get to complete a build like every week or two in the medieval city. But this, like, was just like weeks and weeks and weeks of just like white concrete. You know, looks cool.
Email. The only reason we can't use spectator mode is that once you're in spectator mode, you can't click buttons, so you wouldn't be able to go back to survival. The only rule that we have is that when you are using it and going into creative, you have to make the helicopter noises.
Oh,
and Joel constantly breaks the rule all the time.
I don't do the helicopter noises. Yeah, Alastair does. You had a plugin at some point, didn't you? Like you had like an audio.
I still have it.
You still have it?
I don't have it set up to be able to do it right now, but
right.
I've got a thing that basically plays a helicopter sound. It has a takeoff noise and a landing noise. It's great.
So I think we've covered everything except for the end, which would be an apt place to wrap it up. What do you think?
Yeah,
okay.
That sounds good to me.
Cool. So we'll use the fast travel in the visitor center to return to the hub, the world hub, I guess. And then we'll just go back into the Nether and go to the end. And I think I'm going to put shaders back on to go to the end because that's going to be cool.
Yeah. I do have one question.
Yeah.
And this is something that Stephen pointed out. That where you've got the little obelisk monument that says world center, X equals 1 and Z equals 1.
Yes.
Stephen pointed out, isn't it 0?
No. Because 0 is the actual corner.
Oh, interesting.
Right? The 0, 0 would be like one of the edges of that block is on 0, 0, but the actual coordinate for the pillar is 1, 1.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like
Okay,
if you stand on that pillar, your coordinates are like zero, like negative 0.5 and positive 0.5 or something. Like you're kind of in the space. You're between 0 and 1 if you stand on it. Too much math for stream. Are you coming up behind me to the end? Okay, there you are. Cool. I don't know if we've missed any tunnels. There is one end tunnel that we can walk down. I think it's over this way. Some of these side tunnels that I designed haven't been walked through, but this goes to the wizard tower, and then this points you out towards the end. And you'll see when we get there why it's all purple and designed really cool. They're very simple, but I feel like the color coding is a fun way to get around on the server.
Yeah.
I guess I can fly. I don't need to walk this. We've done this already. So this is back towards the gold farm. We mentioned the end portal. I'm just going to turn my shaders back on just because the end is going to look really cool. Although I guess some of the water won't show up. And I haven't been back. I feel like some of the end has been destroyed since I've been. I don't know. Do you remember?
I can't remember if you fixed it or if we broke it after you fixed it.
We'll find out eventually. Wow, that's trippy. Oof.
Yeah.
So in the end, we have the above ground, which we'll go up first.
I was going to say
up first, yeah. So up here, we've beaten the dragon 5 or 6 times, I think, on the server. And we've used these end stone pillars to help with the fight. The dragon can't destroy them. And so you as a player can either use the water column inside to get up to the top, or... and it's old school. There's no bubble column because the dragon will destroy the water blocks, so you can't use a water column. It's still pretty fast, though. You can get up here with proper end gear. You can get up to the top without drowning. Or you can run up the side, depending on what you feel like doing. But it gets you so high that you can shoot the crystals, right?
Yeah, and you're still exposed, so it's still risky using this. Like
Yeah.
the amount of times I've been blasted off, so it's not cheaty.
No.
But it does give you a bit of an assist to have the high ground. And we all know the high ground is important.
Exactly. I'm counting the end gateways. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I was right. We got 6. We got 6 6 ends gateways. I'd like to finish it. Oh, do we have 7?
8, 9, 10.
Oh, really? Okay.
10.
So we're half done because I think there's 20 in total. I would like to do a couple of dragon fights to get some spare elytra. We have the data pack on the server that allows the dragon to drop the elytra when you beat it, which is very, very helpful for folks that don't like going out to the end islands or find it very difficult. So it allows them to do the dragon fight, and then if they want the elytra thing, go ahead and get it. But it's pretty bleak up here. The only thing, I think my endermite is gone, but I had a little endermite here that was distracting all of the endermen, but I feel like he has been destroyed. Yeah, so this was just a quick exit for all the endermen that were in the area, but there's a lot of torches and a lot of things that have been destroyed with the multiple dragon fights. So people that are doing the dragon fight just have to deal with the endermen.
Yeah, there was a couple of things that we were starting to build up here, and they were just getting destroyed. So
yeah, we held off because I want to do something cool with the end, but we might as well wait until we're done fighting the dragon before we do that.
Yeah.
Now I had a lot of fun in here doing the glass and the different effects inside here. This has been super, super fun. There's a utility room in here just like there is in the Nether, so people can come and like get dyes, glass, get the different things they might need from the end, perper blocks and stuff like that. We have an Enderman farm that we'll go check out, but the drops from that Enderman farm come all the way back here, fill up these chests, And then the overflow goes back to the main portal, which is where they go back to spawn. And so you've got ender pearls will come up here, but on the other side is when it's functioning where the endermen would drop, and they just drop straight out of the world. They just go right into the void. It's
always entertaining just watching endermen go down and ender pearls come up.
Yes. Yeah. For the longest time, that was the farm. They went down here and they splatted and they died. But then, or they were in a chamber for killing. I can't remember. But down this way,
both. I think you had like a switch to switch it.
It looks like we're missing some glass here.
Oh yeah, we haven't fixed it.
That's okay. Yeah, that's fine. It's one of those things where like the dragon, I think there was a glitch and the dragon got stuck here and it destroyed a bunch of stuff, which is unfortunate. But I mean, that's a multiplayer server. Like they update the game, things happen. We're a lifetime server, so we're not gonna, we're not going to wipe and reset the end all the time. So we reset the end islands, but we don't do anything else. This is always fun too. I like giving people heart attacks.
You and I have very different definitions of fun.
This was the Joel puckers up and builds an Enderman farm at the very bottom of the Nether world. I love the color designs. One of the things I really like about the Nether and the End is the freedom that you have to kind of do whatever you want. And this has to have some function. So the carpets and the double carpets keep the Enderman from teleporting within, I think it's 32 blocks. Maybe it's 24. I can't remember. But this is the Enderman farm. So if Alastair gets down there, you'll see Endermen spawn up here. They chase an Endermite that's in this little cart, and then they eventually fall down. It does not function nearly as well as it used to, and I don't know exactly what's changed. The reason it is that high is we did have it down super low, but we preferred the one-hit Enderman as opposed to the bulk Enderman. It just ended up taking too long to sit here and swipe with your sword. So we prefer the build-up, and then they're all one-hit wonders when they're done. And then inside it's all kind of set up to be specific to your needs. There's an ender chest here, so if you're repairing your gear, there's a bunch of different stuff here if you need it. And of course, everything is collected and sent via this really long water stream, and that goes into the ender pearl storage system that was in the main end island. This stuff all feels very unfinished because, again, I think we're just waiting for the dragon fights to be done before these things really get polished. I mean, the farm is done, but like the way that it connects with these slabs, and like I can see this being perper instead of stone slabs. It's probably just what I had a lot of at the moment, right? To build it all.
Yeah, and as we start to learn that things are starting to get destroyed by the dragon, it's safer.
Yeah, and you don't want to waste your time like spending all that slow moments of building this stuff up a block over the void in survival, only to have it destroyed later. And I'm pretty sure that I wanted to build like a black glass walkway. I thought that would be cool. Probably freak the crap out of people.
Yeah,
Alastair's excited.
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
I don't come down here that often, honestly. It's not something that I do very much.
Well, since the gold farm just became so much more efficient for XP, like this used to be where we came for XP,
right?
And then the gold farm just ended up doubling in performance, and then that's just become the go-to now.
I don't remember.
And it's closer as well.
There was a way to get up here, but I think it's been closed off. Oh no, it's still here.
It got destroyed.
Yeah, okay.
There was a little water thing that went up, and the dragon just went through and destroyed the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I mean that's fair. I mean it's. I mean the thing is, like, I built this knowing that there's a chance that it was going to get destroyed. I didn't build low enough in the end island to avoid the dragon completely. So, but
that makes me feel less guilty. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, it's a multiplayer server. Like, anything that's built in the end when people are fighting the dragon, it's going to get destroyed unless it's way out by, like, the Enderman farm, right?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
What do you think we head back to wrap it up at the meadows?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Oh, we ended up at spawn.
Yeah, we will do. Yeah.
It's all right. I'm going to throw down a bed and sleep, and then I'll meet you back at my cabin.
Sounds good.
There we go. fly over everything here. So thanks very much, folks, for hanging out for the day. We're going to pass everyone onto a raid. I'm not sure where we're going. Cosmic is going to maybe throw a couple of options in the chat. Alastair has a hard out because he's going to record a new episode of his podcast. And where can people find that, Alastair?
Longrangesensors.com or on all your usual podcasting places. We're actually doing a live show that is just for our Patreon supporters today.
Okay, cool.
And then the next episode that we're releases this Thursday.
Nice.
So all very exciting stuff. We've got lots of stuff coming up. So yeah, it's a Star Trek retrospective podcast. So we look back at what it was like growing up with Star Trek and some of the sort of toys and magazines and things that came out, and then we break down an episode and go through beat by beat for it, which is a lot of fun.
Nice. I'm going to have a new podcast recording this Monday, of course, with Pixel Riffs. That's the Spawn Chunks. You're probably familiar with that podcast if you're on the stream, but just in case you're not, check it out. We're looking forward to speaking with Sliced Lime sometime on the show in the near future. We're still working out a date for that. This coming Monday, though, is our Chunk Mail Dispenser episode. So that's going to be all mail, all listener email for the next episode. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, I record new episodes of the Citadel Cafe every Wednesday. I believe this week's might be delayed until Thursday because I've got some family stuff happening on Wednesday, but I'll let folks know. Specifically my Discord, which if you've decided to sub with a Prime Gaming sub or a tier 1, then you'll get access to the Discord. You can also do that on Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/JoelDuggan, that's the best way to support the stream and my work here on the Citadel server. So if you're enjoying the content, then check out patreon.com/JoelDuggan and you'll get to join the nerdy community. There's over 100 people in the Discord. We share the Discord with my Citadel Cafe podcast. So it's not just Minecraft. Like there's movies and Lego and hiking and food and all kinds of stuff that people are into that they share on the Discord, and it's a blast. I'm a little biased. I think it's the nicest place on the internet, but we like everyone there. So it's a good place to hang out. Thanks, Alastair, man, for being here and helping me with the tour. It's so much easier to do this kind of stuff when you get to talk to somebody, especially someone that's familiar with the builds.
Yes, yeah, and there's still been like a few new things for me as well that I didn't really realize. So this has been good for me too.
Nice. So people, if they want to see your perspective on the server, where can they go?
So just twitch.tv/AlastairMcFly. I stream pretty much exclusively on here. So yeah, and I've got my own little corner which I call Avalon, which is a very Stargate inspired area. I'll say. Yeah, and so usually a good time. There's also a lot of mischief, I would say, is probably the best thing to describe. I'm not the most ethical. I try and come up with what is the least ethical thing that I can do and what is the most ethical way I can frame it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy the mischief over on Avalon. It's a really beautiful place too. I'm sorry we don't have time to get to it today, but maybe when you do your tour in the near future, I'll come along and I'll get to ask all the questions.
That'll be cool. And it would be good to get your help with some paths at some point as well.
Yes, I am the path man.
Because you are the path man.
Well, I mean, not this path.
That's one thing that I'm...
Don't take my word for it on this one. This is day one path.
Day one path.
Yeah, you want like medieval town path. That's kind of what you want.
Yeah. That's what I'm needing and what I'm lacking at the moment. So, yeah.
All right, folks, we're going to pass you on to Sliced Lime. So enjoy the rest of your Minecraft afternoon. I'll see you again on Friday when I'm doing some modded Minecraft on my Olive Fabric 5 playthrough. There may be a bonus stream. We'll have to see throughout the week. But right now, Friday is probably the next on schedule. And of course, we'll be back here on the Citadel next Saturday. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.
Bye.